disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
Wait.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Welcome everybody to another Beat Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your good friend Mr. BDA, flying solo for the moment. I'm gonna call people right now. Just I don't want to call them while the intro is playing, because then people go, hello, what? Am I on the air? I was like, yeah, you're on the air. What do you think? We're always on the air over here, 24/7, 365 days a year. All around boxing coverage for you fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. We got a special show for you today. Going to be talking about the lightweight restructuring that has occurred this past couple of months and whether anything really changed. And what did you think of Lomachenko's performance? Is this the reason why some of these other fellas have been avoiding him? We're going to get to that soon, but before we do that, let's get the business out of the way, fellas. You know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you can certainly wire them via the super chat feature. You can join the BDA Boxing program, the membership program that is. You get special emojis, badges, the whole shebang. But of course, the most important thing is that you continue to like and subscribe the show, all right? Like. Really helps us out here. And don't forget, you can check out the episodes on Spreaker, iTunes, and Spotify. All right, fellas? Spread the BDA gospel to the uninitiated. All right, give a shout out to here, everybody in the chat. Hard Recoil, Iceman, Johnny Blaze, Ignacio Juarez, Mint Diggity, John Apollo, all right, Jay Perez, Brandon Lee, Trill Ballins, King Butcher's in there. What about me? Iceman, The Greatest, DJ N1, Leather Rebel, Christopher Roman, Padja, Neil Simpson, Dr. Mofongo, Andy Lion, Official Scorecard Boxing, shout out to Official, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right, let's get right down to it. I'm going to call a couple of people over here. Start cooking with a little oil. Turn the stove on. And let's get it cracking, all right? I mean, Lomachenko ended up winning a decision last night, almost unanimous. I think he only lost 3 rounds in one scorecard, and the other ones were 119, 1 something. Hold on a second. Yeah, so I'm just inviting a couple of people over here. See if Gonzalo can make it today. And am I missing somebody? I don't think so. All right, so let's get cracking with this one. Again, Vasily Lomachenko, the scores were 119, 108, 117, 110, and 119, yeah, okay, so 119, 108, and 117, 110. Lomachenko put quite a beating on this guy. I'm going to look up the CompuBox numbers. We're going to talk about how good did he look? Are people going to avoid him? And did he sort of let Commey off the hook there? We're going to talk all about that right now. I got Bucho and Jimmy. Fellas, thank you for joining us.
Gentlemen, Bucho, what's going on, BDA? How you doing, man?
Doing good. I want to ask you later on about that about that tweet that you posted about the Tanks pay-per-view numbers, but we'll get to that after the...
Jeez, yeah.
We'll get to that after the Lomachenko thing. But all right, let's start with... Who wants to start with give their take on Lomachenko's win over Richard Commey? Richard Commey.
Bucho, why don't you fire away, brother, if you're ready.
No, you go ahead, Jimmy.
All right. It was to be expected. To answer your question too, do I think he laid off? Yes, he did. Probably for the same reason I would. Commey is one of the most likable dudes, and I've heard that from everybody who's ever met him. I've never personally met him, but everybody said he's the most genuine. Like, you see him after he loses, he starts crying, and it isn't self-pity. He truly feels he lets down these kids back home in Ghana who, I mean, are dirt poor. And he spends, I read a big article on him written in an African paper, Ghanaian paper, and it was crazy. This dude gives a lot of his money, his time. He's an inspiration to these kids. And I know Loma, I'm sure he's an intelligent kid. He reads that too. So, yeah, Loma didn't want to fucking knock him out. I mean, the dude was out on his feet. Should he have, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It shows the class that he's not a vicious individual. I mean, prime example, all right? Two different people, remember when it was, when Davis hurt a kid? I mean, he cracks hard. Hurt a kid, the kid's out on the fucking his ass, right? And remember Davis gyrated, stood over him and gyrated his hips over him while he was out fucking cold. And see the difference, you know what I'm saying? Like, some dudes can be vicious. It is what it is. Loma's not like that, and Loma didn't want to put him away. But did he do what I thought he could? Yeah, absolutely. And to see the size difference, like, if you freeze frame, and I did it a few times, it is striking how much smaller Lomachenko has. No business in that division. It's only because of his sheer talent. And of course, you get on fucking Twitter, and Fatman's the first fucking tweet I said, I wasn't impressed with Lomachenko. Of course you weren't. Of course you weren't. But so I instantly got right back off. I'm like, that's had to be the first thing I saw. But yeah, no, the kid's he's a generational talent. He does things, and he makes boxers exhausted. You can see that, like Commey, he gets him thinking, because, again, I can't stress this enough. Slight things, like he'll circle out of a punch, he'll circle out, it won't be two times the same way. So with Lomachenko, you obviously have to punch where he's going to, not where he is. But the problem with that's what he wants you to do. It's the reason why he does all those inside movements. He's hoping you're going to take a shot. And when you do that, punching where someone's going to be, and when you miss big, and you open yourself up to fucking counters. And that's what usually he does to set a trap. He tries to open up your defense by, making you take big swings at him. But no, it's the thinking things he does in there, in the movement. And he was fresh. And again, right now, 135, he's the best, especially now that Teo's gone up to 140. I mean, please, all right, go look at Davis, what he did against an unheralded Vegas odds no-hoper, went life and death with that kid, opposed to what he did, dismantling a tough power puncher who's got heart. And the talent is unmistakable. And, it just gets kind of fucking the same conversation over and over again about, like, where the hate is generated from, but that's my take on Lomachenko.
Yeah, everything you said is on point, man. Now, I want to get to the whole him letting him off the hook thing a little bit later, but Jimmy, how exhausting must it be for Lomachenko himself to fight the way he does? I mean, it's just non-stop, everything he does. He's feinting, turning.
It's funny you say that, because when I'm watching him box, dude, that's the thing I'm thinking most of all. Like, how is that motherfucker not? And then you hear about things like holding his breath for 4 minutes and 30 seconds underwater. Do you know how big your oxygen cells must be? I mean, how strong your heart and how much your body absorbs oxygen, how great a condition you have to be to do that. I mean, it's just, man. Again, he just trains like a madman, and, and it shows, because it's true. It's the constant moving, pop, pop, in and out. The hand, and he just never takes a round off. And he's very conscious. And you could see last night, he was very conscious of Commey's power. I'll tell you, that kid can crack, and he was conscious of it. And I don't think Commey ever caught him really clean once. I mean, imagine that, 12 rounds with somebody, and you don't catch him clean once.
Yeah,
and then people say, "Oh, he's got no defense." Okay,
okay, come on. Now those people sound like they're borderline on the crack. let me give a shout out real quick to Michael Poe for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Michael who says, hello everyone, I'm going to call in a minute and I hope everybody's doing good. Well, thank you, Michael. We're going to be opening up the phone lines in about half an hour. So shout out to you, Michael, and really appreciate it. And we can't wait to hear from you. Also, shout out to the Funktopus who says, yeah, Loma is the best since Floyd retired. All right, shout out to the Funktopus. I will disagree a little bit with that because he does have that blemish on his record lately with Teofimo, against Teofimo rather. And okay, you can say that it was the shoulder or whatever, but he still lost, so there's still a little bit of blemish there. Butch, I'm curious to get your take too on the Lomachenko's performance last night against Commey.
That was a good performance. I think he should have stopped Commey in the 7th round. To me, it looks a bit like he's a bit arrogant.
Butcher, sorry, man. You're sounding crackled and low a little bit. You're not online, are you?
Nope. Is it better now?
No, man. Maybe jump off and jump back in.
I'm gonna go on my phone.
Yeah, go on your phone. It's better. Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, man. Meanwhile, let me read a couple of Oh, go ahead, Jimmy. Yes.
No, I was gonna say I could see where he's coming from. It does, like, you know what I mean. I'm sure that's what the fucking his Conor. Of course, after the fight, they were all, Rozier was calm. He wasn't. But I'm sure when Loma was doing it, like, fuck you, you're not gonna tell me what to do.
Exactly.
But again, I'm sure if that was a different guy and he didn't like him, he would have went in. It just goes to show you Comey's a good guy. I don't think you'll see Loma do that against most fighters. But I just think that Commey is a good dude. He didn't want to just concuss him. But if I was his manager, if I was Bob Arum, I would have ripped him a new asshole. I'm going to be straight up and say, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I understand you don't want to hurt this fucking dude. But at the same token, okay, what happens if a hurt guy? Everybody knows a hurt guy. When you got somebody hurt, you can't help but get a little, you're not as focused because you're trying to fucking put him away. What happens if that dude teed up and caught him, right?
Jimmy.
Yes, brother.
Do you want your opponent to show you mercy?
If I'm beat up, I'm not going to lie and say, of course I would.
Jimmy, he wasn't.
But at the same token, I agree I understand where you're coming from. I totally understand. It's a valid point because it could have cost them too.
Right, but how bad could it? I don't know, man. You have to go and finish your opponent. To me, it's like he showed disrespect. Like, I'm going easy on you. You know what I mean? I'm going easy on you. I don't want to hurt you that much. Like, no, man, that's disrespect in my opinion. Like, come and finish me, man. And he wasn't. He managed to recover, and he was never hurt the same again. Commey wasn't, right? He managed to recover. So I don't know. What I'm trying to say is like, to me, it's a bit of disrespect.
I have to agree with you, man.
Telling me you don't want to go 100%. You're trying to go easy on me. Come on.
And after that next round, he definitely took like the next round off. I thought after that he never even really tried to take him out. I think he made it. I think he said, "Fuck it, I'll just." At the last round, though, the last 30 seconds, I think he might have wanted to try to put him out there. But I mean, by then, I think most of the steam was off Comey's punches, and you could see he was baffled and stuff. But I just hope they paid that kid good money, Commey.
Yeah, you're right, man. And everything you said,
Bucho, you got a great point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because what you're saying makes sense, Jimmy. Like, sometimes friends do take it a little easy on them. I mean, even Roy Jones, who could be the most arrogant guy in the world. Remember when he was fighting Brian Brannon, I think it was? And he kept telling the ref, like, stop the fight. And finally, the ref wouldn't stop it because he had the guy wobbly-legged in there. Finally, he takes him out with a combo. He looks at the ref like, what the fuck are you doing? So sometimes it can be a fighter does get compassion in the ring. But I also understand Butch's point, and I think when I gotta tell you, my first reaction when I saw Loma telling the corner to stop the fight, I thought it was arrogance. It's like, hey man, you better stop it now, or else it's gonna get a lot worse. Well, make it worse. These guys, you both signed papers, you both know the risks. Go out there and finish him. In fact, some people might have said, and I don't know, this is for sure because I'm not inside Comey's brain, but might have actually been worse for him not to get been knocked out because he took
exactly. That's another point. Yeah. Because he was still getting hit after that.
Exactly.
You know, it's funny. I remember Marvin Hagler did something very similar. It was in a big fight. It was, he did. He was like getting the ref's attention, coming to find out it used to be a sparring partner of his, and he didn't want to fucking knock him out. but he ended up having to do it. But he was yelling at the referee. I remember that he was yelling at fuck. What the fuck? Like he should have stopped it because the guy was out on his feet. So yeah, no, you can definitely see both points. You could if he was coming from, which I believe, I believe it does look. It can look arrogant, but I don't believe in his heart that's what he was trying to do. I don't think he was trying to be cocky. I truly believe, anyways, my opinion, that it was about not wanting to hurt Commey.
Right.
Because anybody who meets him, like I said, how can you not like him? But I understand where you're coming from, brother.
But Gonzalo in the chat on the Discord yesterday night, he said something interesting. He said if it would have been Teofimo Lopez, he would have fucked him up. So I'm like, maybe you got a point there, right? If it would have been,
absolutely,
yeah.
Well, he did fuck him up.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been saying that.
Like Lopez did, fuck him up after when they fought. He dropped him, had him wobbled, and he went for the kill, and he got the KO. Also, the other thing is, it's interesting how we can agree that, or we disagree maybe whether it was arrogance or not, but we can all agree at the end of the day it was a mistake to let him off the hook, because when you have a guy in there, like Jimmy said, this guy Commey looked big when they faced off at the weigh-in. They're both dehydrated. I didn't really see that much of a size difference, but when they were facing off during the referee's instructions in the middle of the ring, I said, "Whoa, Commey looks." I mean, just the back, the legs. He looks like he's in a completely different division. So
probably 155, 160 pounds, close to it. I'd say at least 150, 155.
And you could tell the body shots were affecting Lomachenko. I think Andre Ward even said he's feeling those, but he's just not showing it because he's a pro. But man, that's what you got to do with Lomachenko. It's like you got to let your hands go. If he jumps in, boom, 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 body. Luke Campbell had a little success against him. Remember when he hurt him with a left hand and so the guy did respect? Yep. But Lomachenko is just so good at tucking his chin in between those shoulders of him. He puts his hands up. He doesn't get hit with anything flush. Like Jimmy, you said, did he really get hit with, I think maybe 3 shots, I remember? A jab and maybe 2 right hands that caught him flush. And a check left hook. Other than that, he was like easy sailing for the guy. It's insane.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, I agree, man. He should have definitely stopped him. Man, yeah, you're right. I mean, the more I think about it too, if you're the manager of him, man, all kinds of bad things could have happened after that. But I think his shoulders definitely healed. He doesn't look like his legs, like you said. Did he look any? He looked as sharp as he did when he was 27, as far as I'm concerned. His wind, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, quick shout out to Not, aka K Not, for his contribution with the super chat. He says Donaire didn't give him a chance to rob him. Oh yeah, we're gonna get back to Donaire, man, because he put on a sensational performance last night as well. So shout out to Not for his contribution. I wanted to say something about that, and I didn't get a chance to get at the gif of the knockdown, but that knockdown that Lomachenko scored against Commey, when they showed it in slow motion, I was really impressed, man, because it was from a clinch almost, and he didn't seem to have that much space to turn into the shot with those little T-Rex
6 inches, brother. Yep, 6-inch punch. I say it all the time. That's where the power generates. It's right in there in the phone booth. Like I tell people, all right, if you ever stand directly up, put your middle fingers, open your fingers all the way up, right, and touch middle finger to middle finger with your elbows in almost a crab position, like you were dancing with somebody, a hug in that position. That right there, believe it or not, that's that's the red zone. That's where you want somebody. That's how far you want somebody when you're laying your power on them, punching through the way Donaire, the way he punches through. But yeah. And Loma kind of didn't. He was holding back on some of his punches too. You could see he wasn't punching through the target a few times too, especially after the 7th. So, but yeah, with Lomachenko, you got to punch at his body. You got to punch at his chest. Never look him in the eyes when you're boxing. That's because you get tired, or don't try to follow that lead hand. Just punch at his chest, his collarbones. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But I mean that shot, the way he snapped his head around, or not around, but really just you could see the impact of the shot. It's insane. This guy is. That's why I remember I was very impressed when he knocked out what was his name, Rocky Martinez, out cold, and I was thinking, holy crap, this guy has underrated power, man. It's just at the end, and I know Butcher, you didn't like that, the pity patting near the end of the fight. And it was only in the 12th round when he actually tried to really go for it, but Commey clinched his way to the final bell. That's what he did, essentially, Commey. He was just trying to survive in the 12th round.
Yeah, Loma was doing good work to the body, but then he stopped doing that, and that was when I was frustrated. I was like, what is he doing? And he throwing those pity pads, trying to break that guard. What's the point? Like, go to the body, man. Go to the body. But good performance by Lomachenko, don't get me wrong. And that performance was much better than the performances that we've seen from Devin Haney against Jojo and Tank against Cruz. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest, this is a much better performance than those performances.
I mean, it begs the question. By the way, shout out to Stephen Bateman for his contribution with the super chat. Says Lomachenko and Usyk are the elite of boxing at the moment, in my opinion. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. Shout out to Stephen Bateman, by the way. But it's hard to argue with that comment because look at who he's fighting and look at how he's beating them up. Nakatani, he just, not only does he knock him out, but he just every round beat him up. Well, not every round, but dominated every round and then beat him up and stopped him. Here with Commey, virtually won every round. And he didn't stop him, but he dropped him and put quite a beating and had Commey clinching his way to the decision. So it begs the question, who out there right now, between the four other guys, I'm talking Kambosos, Haney, Ryan Garcia, and what's the other dude? Tank Davis. Can do what Lomachenko did last night against Commey.
None of them. The Tank might knock him out. Garcia might knock him out. He's got some good power, but none of them are going to make it look like that. I mean, just look at the last few Davis fights. How many rounds has he lost in these last three fights against unknowns, right? I mean, he's lost a lot of rounds. If he hasn't, in fact, Floyd even told him with Barrios, you might be losing this fight. Like elite fighters like Lomachenko, if you go back over his 16 fights, he's probably lost 15 rounds total in 16 fights. Most of them going 12, of all the ones that went 12 rounds. Just think about that. This dude very seldom lose rounds, never mind fights. And again, you know what I really want to say too, man? I am so happy to hear all these fighters now. Here everybody's saying after the fight, I want undisputed. Now everybody's saying that because they see the accolations and shit being showered on people. So everybody's going for that now, which is nice because under the Floyd era, everybody was about protect the O.
Right.
Because that's because that's what Floyd did. He protected the O. He didn't want to unify because the difference is when you unify, if you actually try to unify a division, it means you're going to have to try to fight the best. And when you fight the best, you lose. Because I'm older, a loss to me don't mean shit. In a boxer, boxers lose. You know what I mean? You lose fights for a number of reasons. It's just crazy to see how people will just instantly go to that. Well, he lost to Salido. He's lost twice. I'm like, yeah, but he's also fought more current and ex-world champions than anyone in boxing history in his first 14 fights.
Yeah, that's insane.
What, within 9?
Yeah, that's a good
insane.
observation, man. That's a good observation. I hope it's happening, though. Yeah, moving away from the Floyd era, Floyd type of mentality. Everybody was trying to be like Floyd, having that zero. Who cares about that, man? You can have a loss, 2 losses. Who cares, man? But that unification part is very important. And that was neglected. It's been neglected for a long time now. Because why? Because you had fighters like Floyd who, had a belt here and there, drops a belt, grabs another belt, but never really unifies.
No, that's the hardest thing in boxing.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually one good positive thing from all these belts now that might arise. Because you know me, I hate the belts and all that, but this might be a positive thing now that that networks are giving these fighters who unify. They're giving him a lot of props, and I think now all their fighters are looking because Lomachenko, he should be fighting at 130, but he insists that he wants to stay at 135 and unify. So it really seems to be pushing these fighters to get all the belts. I mean, you've seen Crawford getting adulation for it, Usyk, Canelo. Who am I missing here? Somebody else unify. Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor. Yeah. So maybe now these fighters, like you said, Jimmy, that's an interesting point. Maybe they're saying, screw the O. I want to get all the belts and say I beat everybody.
Exactly.
And Kambosos seems to be more interested in fighting Lomachenko. Now already some people are saying, oh, he's ducking Haney, but based on past performances, can you really argue against Kambosos fighting Lomachenko? Lomachenko is shown to be, at least in the ring, has shown to be the more competent fighter. Now, when I asked earlier who could do that, who could do what Lomachenko did against Commey last night, who could recreate that performance amongst the other 4 lightweights. I'm not saying they can't beat him. Obviously, if Haney fought Commey, I would favor Haney. But, and it's a big but, Haney seems to be a little shaky too. Jojo Diaz was walking him down, and he's not a puncher. So imagine Commey, who is a puncher.
Commey is not a small lightweight like Jojo was.
No.
Exactly.
No,
Commey's a
Above.
big lightweight.
And now comparing Commey with Cruz, I mean, come on, who is this guy, Cruz? 5'4", very small guy. He's young, inexperienced. You can't compare him to fucking Commey.
I think,
and when they say, no hoper, that's like him and I, he tweeted out a Vegas odds because it was 12-1. He was a 12-1 underdog. That's a no hoper as far as Vegas odds is concerned. So you went life and death, fucking with a fucking Vegas no hoper. And what do you say at the end of the fucking fight? Yeah, a replacement. And then say, all the top guys is easy work. What? What do you think? Like, fucking everybody forget your lying eyes. You didn't just see what you just saw. You didn't see me go life and death with a fucking unknown gnome who fucking one-dimensional. Let's be honest. Cruz, you didn't come at him with different angles or different things. You just made him work.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot for him to handle.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. And I imagine now Commey's more open than Cruz with his defense, but he was also bigger, he's more experienced, and he throws more shots. I mean, that would be maybe Davis could take him out. You never know. But whether he can, if he can't, would he be able to dominate him throughout 12 rounds? I don't know, man. I don't see that level of skill as compared to Lomachenko. By the way, real quickly, shout out to, what do we got here? Shout out to Pedro del Norte, who says, I thought you were French. I'm going to assume he's talking about me. No, man. I mean, my accent's all over the place because I've been all over the place. It's all screwed up. No, I'm Mexican, man. Puro naturalito aquí. Puro norteño, as they say in the north. All right. Shout out to, who else we got? And Bucho's from the north too, right, Bucho? Or am I mistaken here?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Puro norteño.
Hey, did you read Steven Bateman's super chat?
Yes,
he said Lomachenko and Usyk are the elite of boxing at the moment,
in
my opinion.
I read it.
Okay, sorry. And also we have, I'll read all of them. I have them here. Knowles, thank you for your contribution. He says, Loma is low reward, high risk for these guys. You think any of them will fight him next? They're pushing the Shakur fight on him meantime. Sure. Nobody's going to... I don't think... Exactly. He's high risk, low reward. Kambosos looks like he wants to fight him. And I'm not going to start doubting Kambosos yet. He looks like he's a real deal. He wants to fight everybody, so... We'll see. Kenshiro, thank you for your contribution. George should fight Loma, not the 4 princesses. I agree, of course. George is a champion, Kenshiro. You were right. Stephen Bateman, again, thank you for your contribution. He says Kambosos should fight Haney next. That would be a good fight. Yeah. So, guys, what do you think about this argument that I've heard on the internet? They keep saying, well, Haney should fight Lomachenko next. Haney should fight Kambosos next because Haney's a champion.
I mean... Yes, I mean, again, that's the downside of the belts. Because you got a belt, that means you're good. I've said it before. The belt doesn't make the person makes the belt. And Haney,
it's who you fought last. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's level of competition, and it also goes what you've done in the past. That's part of the sanctioning bodies too. They take that into consideration, and the fact that Lomachenko, I mean, Krola, is that one of his weakest fucking? Opponents, I don't know. You would have to be, everybody have to give their opinion. But even take his weakest link, and it's a feather in the cap, most of these guys. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's one top end or current or ex-world champion after another. So, in the fact that he's constantly a road warrior, I mean, he's not from the United States, so everywhere he fights is not really home. So, yeah, he's willing to go to Australia. It won't mean nothing to him. It'll be the easiest to make because he doesn't. Have you ever heard Lomachenko fights having trouble getting across the line because he's holding things up?
Nope, I haven't. No, not to my knowledge. So it's interesting, man, because they asked him the day before the fight or sometime before the fight, like, hey man, what about Shakur Stevenson? You want to fight Shakur Stevenson? And the guy goes, no, why would I want to fight Shakur Stevenson? He's a 130. He wants to fight lightweights. Now, the rumor is that Bob Arum wants to match him up against Shakur Stevenson, but Lomachenko seems intent on unifying 135. So I think this might be the rare time where Lomachenko tells Bob, look, I go along with everything you tell me, but this time I want these lightweights. And maybe Bob Arum doesn't want to go through the hassle of having to negotiate with Haney, Davis. I mean, Davis already, that's the one that we know it's not going to happen. It's the least chances probability of happening, a Davis-Lomachenko fight. Maybe Haney, because of the whole Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn, maybe with the Bob Arum could work out a deal. But Kambosos seems to be the easiest one, right?
Yeah, well, and it's with Haney, I mean, with Davis, it's money too. Remember, I mean, the thing is, right, he's a superstar according to them, but he gets paid a base salary of $1 million guaranteed. And then he doesn't, I made him a superstar, or a superstar was born tonight or whatever. Well, he didn't pay the kid like it. What did he get, $600,000? He doesn't pay his opponents because all the money goes to Davis. And since no network is going to pay the money they're asking, and that all ties into Fox too. Like PBC is even. I mean, I think it's pretty much solidified that Fox is not doing any more Saturday shows. I think they said the way it looks like. Okay, whatever we're going to do, we're just going to do on pay-per-view. We're not even going to bother giving you guys any Saturday night slots. You know how bad they must have pissed off the Fox that they wouldn't even give them any Saturday night slots. Everything's pay-per-view. Think about it. Fucking Ortiz, who just came off a loss, right? Didn't he get knocked out? Come off a loss against Charles Martin. That's a fucking pay-per-view. And there's another one they just announced for Fox pay-per-view. It's even worse, or just as worse. I mean, it's insane. And so, yeah, PBC, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do coming forward if they don't. It's going to probably eventually just, if they don't sign with another network or app, they're going to be putting everything on pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, the fucking Thurman Barrios are talking about pay-per-view.
Yes, that's it. That is a pay-per-view. That is 100%. They've inked the deal, I guess, and it's going to be a Fox pay-per-view. Both coming off a loss. Barrios going up to 147. It's like, what the fuck? That's a fight. I honestly, unless I had nothing to do, including cleaning out my garage, would I fucking waste my time watching that fight? God's honest truth, right? And fucking putting it on a pay-per-view. It's insane.
It really reeks of either incompetence or insanity there from the PBC. But now the point is that with Shakur Stevenson, look, he's got plenty of work to do at 130. You got Valdez, you got Chris Colbert in there, I believe, as well. So for them to be talking about putting him in there against Lomachenko, it's this looks like Lomachenko with this healthy shoulder. It's going to be very, very hard for somebody to beat him. And Lomachenko's not no disrespect to Jamel Herring, but Lomachenko's on another level. So Shakur Stevenson right now, if I'm looking at the rankings here, hold on a second. Well, he already beat Herring. Burchell's still, Burchell's moving up to lightweight, I believe. You got Rakimov, Colbert, Gutierrez, Ogawa, who looked very good as well in his last performance. Conceição put on a good performance against Valdez, although I haven't seen it. Xavier Martinez, now that's a guy that might, you never know, man. And Shakur Stevenson is looking very big now, by the way. He looked rather big in his last workouts and all that before the Herring fight. So he might be moving up to lightweight soon, I don't know. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody wants to fight him in there. I'm opening up the phone lines, by the way, fellas, in case you want to call in and give us your thoughts. Oh, actually, they are open. Phone lines
Imagine
are open.
if fucking Lomachenko went back down to 130. If he campaigned there, he would dominate that division.
I think he'd beat Shakur Stevenson, but Stevenson's timing and size, I think, would give Lomachenko problems. It would not be easy at all, I don't think. But
size-wise, he's smaller than Commey. Stevenson. He's quick. He's got fast hands, but it's the angles, and you got to remember he would be totally. We haven't seen him face anybody like that. I mean, he faced Herring. Again, Jamal Herring, great guy, great story, the whole nine. But I've just was never high on him. I just always kind of thought he was a paper champion. No disrespect, but it's where I felt his talent. I never thought he was that guy, and that's why I thought Stevens would beat him easily, and he did.
Yeah, he did. He just lacked a certain something in there. And it's interesting because before the fight, weeks before the fight, the Stevenson Herring fight, I watched Herring's fight. His last loss prior to that was against Ladarius Miller. another lightweight, and he tried to fight Ladarius Miller on the inside, and it's just he didn't have any punching power, didn't have any pop. So I said, if he can't beat Stevenson on the outside, he's not going to knock him out. So he's going to have to outwork him. He himself said that. I got to outwork this guy. But once he got in there, the speed and the power, it just took him out of his element. And he, like you said, Jimmy, he just didn't have that wherewithal to put the hands up like a Jojo Diaz. That's why I respect Jojo Diaz, because no matter how quick Haney was, he put his hands up, said, let's go. I can't beat you from the outside. I can't knock you out. I got to try to outwork you. And he did his best, I believe, but, But that's the thing with Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. And so, and Lomachenko, that's the other thing. Real quick, Jimmy, like Bucho said, Lomachenko, that's the impressive thing. He didn't just run around against Commey and try to run him into a big shot like Tank Davis did for 12 rounds against Cruz. And he didn't clinch and all that excessively. He was right in front of him, turning him, pity-patting him, alternating the hand speed and the power, trying to stop him. I mean, that's how you do it. None of these guys are doing this. Haney's not standing in front of his opponents. He's moving around the ring. Tank Davis, same thing. Ryan Garcia, okay, he put pressure against Luke Campbell, but forget Ryan Garcia. He's not fighting right now. And Kambosos, you got to give him credit, but he does like a little bit of pop in there. He's a mover too. So what Lomachenko is doing is people just don't give him enough credit, man.
No, they don't.
Real quick, shout out to Chris K for his contribution with the super chat. Shout out to Chris K. He says, Loma bodywork thudding. Commey pooped his pants. Commey pooped his pants. I don't know if he shit his pants really, but the few times that Loma did go to the body, you could feel those shots, man. And same thing with Commey. Commey did what he was supposed to. He tried to go to the body himself, but it's just easier said than done, man.
It's always the way, dude. It's like Ward said, Andre Ward said, everybody has a plan until they get in there and they face them. You know what I mean? There's so much going on. There's so much going on with him. You become mentally exhausted, and then eventually you just can become disheartened. Mm-hmm. Because as a boxer, you don't want to swing big and miss. You feel like a donkey. You know what I mean? It's like swinging for a home run ball and you just fucking way out ahead of a curveball. You know, you swing yourself into the dirt. Mm-hmm. It's embarrassing. So they want to look good at what they're doing, and the dotting in and out, man. I'll tell you that in and out thing. Can I just say too, man? Fucking Bivell, did you catch that fight yesterday? Oh, just real quick, man. I had to run an errand, so I was watching it on my phone. My girl went in the store. Mm-hmm. Dude, I went into such a deep sleep, man. Somebody called paramedics. They were going to hit me with Narcan. They thought I OD'd. That motherfucker's the lullaby guy. Dude, I'm such a big Bivell fan for his skills, like his footwork. But my God, is that fucking dude boring.
Yeah. Just had
to put that out there.
He needs to fight somebody big, because watching him fight some unknowns from Eastern Europe and England and all that, it just ain't cutting it, man. It's just 12 rounds of the same thing all the time. Real quick, shout out to Stephen Bateman for his contribution with the super chat. Says, I'm Aussie. The bells go if Cambo gets Loma. And he puts a crying gif in there. Yeah, man. Maybe Loma gets them all, but Kambosos, you got to give him credit. We've underestimated him before, and he pulled out the win, so you never know. Shout out to Stephen Bateman. And shout out to Kenshiro for his contribution with the super chat. Says, if Loma becomes undisputed 135, then do 130 and then retire. That's a good plan right there. But first, I mean, it's a tall order to unify at 135 right now. So shout out to everybody who contributed with the super chat. Really appreciate it. We got a couple of phone calls here. Let's go to the phone lines here. See who we've got calling in. You never know who's going to call in on this Sunday.
So take the long distance first.
Which one is a long distance? 351?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 351. You're on the air. 351. What's on your mind?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? It's Mike Poe.
Oh, Michael, thank you for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
You guys hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Not
Michael,
much.
how you doing, buddy?
Great fight. I enjoyed it. Very good, Jimmy. How's everybody?
Doing sensational over here, man. Hope you're doing as well.
I'm doing good. Doing good. I was waiting for your show. I thought you might have done a post after last night, but I was waiting for today. I just got off another show, and I mentioned a redheaded guy. I'm not going to get into it, but nobody could seem to understand my point that I'm not downing somebody, thinking I have an ulterior motive for another boxer. And I said, all right, I'm out of here, because everybody underneath was saying bad stuff, and I'm out. But anyway, Loma did great, and I really think he will go to Australia, and I hope he gets the chance. I think Bob is kind of sick of Lopez.
Yeah, what's going to happen with Lopez? That's the big question, right? I mean, he pissed Bob Arum off, top rank and all that.
Yeah.
Well, 140.
He seems
going to
cringy,
140.
like, doesn't it? Jimmy, when you see them together, doesn't it seem cringy, Lopez and Bob lately?
Well,
Like,
yeah,
trying to kiss his
yeah,
butt.
no, absolutely.
Well, Michael, who would you like to see Lomachenko
I don't
fight
know
next?
which way.
Who would you like to see Lomachenko fight next?
I would like to see the Undisputed. I don't know if it's going to happen right away. I don't know who it's up to right now, but I would like to see him against Kambosos in Australia. And before I let you guys go, I have one quick theory on AJ, and I might have mentioned it. I think he wants to avoid Usyk, but not because of money, but to have somebody else fight him and fight the winner. And he might lose then too, but at least it buys him time, and he'll go out with a bang. But he might not get the match he wants afterwards, so I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? What Joshua needs to do is screw the immediate. He already got an immediate rematch with Luis, and it worked out for him. So he might be in the same world of thinking now with Usyk. But he one or two good, impressive performances, and he's back on top. And he just has to jab more. I guarantee you this: if he jabs more, his next performance, and it's not against Usyk, he jabs more, he knocks somebody out. People are gonna say, "Ooh, Usyk, better watch out." You see, Joshua's rediscovering his skills.
Right.
He's throwing that jab. That's how it works in boxing. You know, one good performance.
But
will he get?
I was gonna say
he get a chance though? If I'm sorry, BDA. Will he get a chance though if he lets Fury fight Usyk? Let's say. I know he's supposed to fight, but let's say. Who's to say that? Let's say Fury wins. Who's to say Fury gives him a shot? That's the only problem with that plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that was my point. Because say if when you have a rematch clause, it's usually only good till your next fight. Meaning, if he was to say, you know what, okay, you go do something else. Let's do it. I want to face a softer touch, you know, to get my confidence back. Whatever.
Yep.
Then he is no longer obligated to face you. Now it's up to his discretion.
Right.
Or unless he's mandated, that takes a lot of his. That's the only leverage point he has right now because it's probably in the contract. They probably had a rematch clause, but you avoid that if you go and take on somebody else. So there's the catch-22. You know what I mean, brother?
Yeah. So I think he's trying to make his image look good, and even if he loses, at least it'll be later on. But I think he should just face him because he might not get that chance. So
we'll see, man. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully everything works out. We did have a fantastic year of boxing, a lot of competitive matchups. So hopefully the trend continues.
It's been great.
Absolutely, man.
It's been really good. And
hopefully,
I'm going to let you guys go to save my minutes, and I'm going to listen to the rest of the show. Hopefully we'll talk again before Christmas time. If
absolutely.
Not, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But we'll talk anyway.
Right back at
you. If not, Mike, you have a good holidays, brother.
All right, take it easy, Steve.
You too, my friend. You guys take care. Bucho, BDA, Jimmy, and everybody on. Take care.
Have a good one, man.
Oh, yeah, try Stu, man. Somebody got to check on that guy.
We've been checking on him. Yeah, me too, man.
I know.
We've tried it all,
man.
Yeah,
we all miss Stu.
As long as he's alive, man.
All right, man.
I miss him. All right, guys. Take care.
Take it easy, Michael. Thank you for your call. Yeah, man. Interesting year of boxing. Hopefully 2022 continues the same trend. Speaking of
big upset again last night. Did you watch the upset in the welterweight division?
The upset in the welterweight division.
I'm not the Uzbekistanian kid, the welterweight.
Yeah. Well, let me just real quick. Let me get to Stephen Bateman for his contribution with the super chat. He says Usyk gave AJ nothing. The best is yet to come. Usyk gave AJ nothing. I think he means nothing to look forward to in a rematch. I believe that might be what Bateman is referring to. Shout out to Stephen.
No, I was going to say, does he mean like he hasn't even shown the best? I'm taking that as Usyk hasn't shown Joshua the best of Usyk yet.
Yeah, that's sort of like
I think that's maybe what he meant, but I could be wrong.
Hey, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 301. You're on the air. 301. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing fantastic, man. Thank you for calling in.
I gotta say, every time I watch Loma now, it's like I don't know, like a gift or something, you know? I think this guy's footwork has stepped it up, like tremendously with the Nakatani fight, like, and his overall approach to fighting has become so much meaner. I mean, he was roughing up, like physically manhandling a man easily 15 pounds heavier than him. Crazy stuff, you know? Like, kind of makes you wish you could just put them in a time machine, throw them against Duran or something, you know? Because it'd be like a grappling fest. That guy's, I mean, I guess he showed him mercy, so maybe he's not that mean. But then again, you could maybe read into that and think he just wanted to punish him more or something. That was a weird kind of 7th round. But I don't know what you guys think. Like, it's like he was on skates this time around, the way he was following him on the outside angle. Like, he was doing that to Nakatani. It almost looks like he's, like, holding the guy up with his shoulder. Like,
Yeah, it was a weird shot, man. I gotta tell you, I gotta rewatch that fight to see that. But Caller, who do you want to see Lomachenko fight next? If you had your pick.
If I had my pick, like, I think, like, Tank would be the most interesting fight because it would be the most suspenseful, you know? I think Tank is a very intuitive fighter, and I think Loma will be piecing him up, but I think Tank would have a few shots in there, and it would ask questions on Lomachenko.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, like, you know, Devin Haney being able to control distance against Lomachenko. His approach is too simplistic, and he's too frail. I don't know if it's because he is cutting a lot of weight to get there, or just naturally doesn't have good shot resistance, but he's somebody who needs to be, like, he needs a lot of cushioning, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he can't continue thinking through adversity. He starts to, like, get frazzled. Lomachenko is, like, one of the most mentally tough guys I've ever seen. I mean, like, he doesn't stop thinking. Like, we always talk about, like, quitting in boxing. I think one of the forms of that is when you kind of sell out, you know, and you just start hammering away, and you abandon the game plan. A guy like Lomachenko will never do that because he has, like, this whole system he's developed, you know? Like, it's all very, like, this internal logic that isn't even easy to see from the outside at all. But he has, like, years and years of experience building off of.
Yeah, excellent point, man.
Crazy. But
well, Carl, did you know his father implements special forces training? You know, like in for instance, the Navy SEALs during Hell Week when they've been up for like days on end, they'll let them sleep for like 2 minutes and they'll wake them up and make them take a test just to check mental acuity while they're exhausted. I guess Lomachenko does that too. Like when he's been training real hard, he'll take IQ tests after training to stay mentally sharp. He'll do those lights on the wall, all kinds of things that nobody else is doing. And it's to keep you mentally sharp while you're physically tired.
And like, he'll try to like increase his time underwater, which I know is a big part of SEALs training, like, you know, the lung capacity. So he'll like empty out his oxygen store and then do something intellectually demanding, like holding a lot of information in memory to, you know, like do that kind of like numbers game he does. That's crazy stuff. You can tell it's passion. Like he just wants to be better. There are like few guys like him, you know, who just want to compete against themselves, basically, and that's why he keeps pushing it. I don't know why Aram wants him to fight Shakur. I guess it's easier to matchmake, but like Shakur like has obvious fights there at 130, like Valdez, namely, that people want to see. And I think I've called in before and mentioned that ahead of the Herring fight, I couldn't really understand the point of this fight, you know, because it's like Herring didn't seem to offer anything for Shakur, and he actually did worse than I thought he would. So like, you know, I'm not really getting like why they're kind of suspending this guy's career.
Mm-hmm.
I will make another kind of like fantasy proposal. Like I think it'd be somehow amazing if like Inoue could move up to 122. And somehow Lomachenko and him could meet at like 126 or like catchweight in between that. I know it's like a lot.
Yeah, I don't
train
know
well, but I think he can make 126 comfortably. But those two guys, like, they're both like on skates, like the way they move. Like their footwork is crazy.
It's all natural, man. It's just like it comes natural to them. It's amazing to watch.
It's his father. It's his dad, actually, Senior, who's the architect of all that. His father's like, you know, he was a strength and conditioning coach for the Ukraine Olympic team, I believe, the boxing team. I think it was for.
Yeah.
Well, listen, caller, we got to move on to
famous.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say he's like a famous trainer in Ukraine as well. But I mean, I speak Russian, so I've listened to a lot of Lomachenko's interviews, and he's of two minds about the training thing. He's like, yeah, maybe it helped. I don't know. Like, he doesn't seem to be very convinced. He's like, I kind of just wanted the box, but you know, maybe the Ukrainian dancing stuff helps. You know, I think it's one of those things people like to harp on, just like with the whole computer processing. Oh, he's downloading information. Oh, you know, he's sending requests in the mainframe. Watch out, folks. You know, here comes the algorithm.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that when they start talking like that, man. I go, come on, man. Just stick to the fucking fight. By the way, listen, 301. Good call, man. Call back next time, right, man?
All right. Have a good one. I'll listen to the show.
You too, man.
Thanks,
Thank you for calling in. Indeed. Let's go to 661. You're on the air. 661. What's on your mind?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, 661. You sound a little bit hoarse there, but yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to call. I just wanted to talk about. By the way, I've never introduced myself. My name's Bob. Because you guys usually call me Caller. My name's Bob.
Bob. Sound like Bob Arum a little bit.
Yo,
yes, go ahead.
I find it absolutely adorable. Absolutely, it's almost amusing, you know, to sit here and listen to all this deep throating and gargling going on, you know, by these Loma fangirls, as if Loma is the greatest thing since Jesus walked earth, as if Teofimo Lopez didn't dominate Richard Commey in 2 rounds, as if Teo didn't fight Kambosos the way he fought Loma, he would have dominated, right? You know Floyd, the way Floyd fights all his opponents, right? Defensively, precisely, carefully, and that's why he never lost. The thing is, at the end of his career, what do they say? He's boring. Nobody wants to see that. Teofimo Lopez gave us a performance like a warrior. It took a jab. Hear me out. Hear me out. You're all listening, and you all know the truth. Some of you might ignore it. Some of you might play dumb. You know the truth. Hear me out. It took a jab. It took setbacks. It took a whole world, because I told you the professional victims aren't the most hated. Being a self-hater, hating yourself, lacking self-love is not oppression. The most hated people are the people. Teal. Yes, he's part white. He has European blood, but still he has that native in him, that indigenous in him. And these people, it's something spiritual. They think they founded the country. They didn't. They didn't do nothing to this day. They worship black people. They're just waste of life, waste of oxygen.
I think I know who this is. Hey, I gotta ask you, what happened to your? I gotta ask you, what happened to your voice, man? Because you weren't talking like this last week. Now all of a sudden you sound. Did you get into a screaming match with somebody in the street or something? Or?
BDA. What did Teo say on his Instagram? What did the doctor say?
So that's my
He's
question.
lucky to be alive.
Right.
He's lucky to be alive, and you all know what that is. You can play dumb. This is what these people do. What did they say? What did Elon Musk, the smartest, richest mind? He put a car in space. We live in a computer simulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the little scumbag comes around. Oh, what's his name? Trump? These waste of life still worship to this day. Or the China virus. If we're in a computer simulation, what's a China virus? These people can't help it. They're evil. It's in their DNA to be the way they are. They can play dumb all they want. It took a jab. It took a whole robbery to bring him down. He's still the top dog. Had he fought Loma the way he fought, had he fought Kambosos the way he fought Loma, he would have. We all know what happened. But that's all I have to say.
Hey, but how's he the top dog if he wants to kill him? Like, he's a mental mess right now. Mentally, he's all over the place. How's he still the top dog?
Who?
Lopez. Lopez is all over the place mentally. He was crying before the fight. Then he says he wants to kill himself. He's got a hole in his esophagus or whatever. How's he on top if he's got all that to deal with?
You're not hearing what I'm saying? Why did Lopez, after the fight, say that he had no air in his chest and that he almost died?
I don't know. He made an excuse, right? Like Lomachenko did.
Oh, he needed an excuse?
No, he didn't say he almost died. What he said was the doctor said he could have died if he got hit in the chest. But I think that was taken care of when the fucking condominium and shoes punched him directly in the chest.
So you China haters didn't make him take the jab? I don't want to get BDA's channel flagged. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Oh, you want to play dumb. That's what you people do for a living. I forgot. Right, Jimmy? Oh, you don't hear what I'm saying?
Because you're talking about, I understand you're talking about the jab, but I just want to keep it about boxing, man. That's all.
Oh, so Lomachenko had an injured shoulder. Ask these people, huh? But Teofimo Lopez nearly dies, and he's making excuses.
Well, of course he is. That's what people said about
Lomachenko. Did you listen to the show last week? Did you listen to the show last week when I said I believe that absolutely that injury affected Teofimo? I was one of the few people to say that. I said, yes, if that was going on with him, you could definitely see why he had no fucking lungs at the end of the fight. And I caught a lot of flack for that.
In the chat log, they know what I'm saying, and you're going to see more tragedies happen. They know what I'm saying. That's the level they go to bring you down.
Okay, speaking
like I said,
this
the China virus.
This is driving me crazy. Sorry, caller. This is driving me crazy. But why are you talking like that with that hoarse? What happened? Did you just tell me yes or no? Did you get into a screaming match with somebody? Why are you trying to occult your voice?
This is how I talk.
All right. Well, listen. We got to move on. Excellent call as always. You always bring the fire, but we got to move on to another caller, right, man? So point taken. And
much love, BDA. BDA. I wasn't trying to disrespect you or anybody. It's just they know. They know who they are. They know.
Absolutely, man. All right. Take it easy, man. Thank you for your call. Peace and love. That's right.
Have a good one.
That was frightening. All right. Let's go to the wild card. 111. You're on the air. 111. What's on your mind?
Man, what the fuck was that, BDA? I mean, like, what was, like, clear your throat, man. Like, did you just smoke 50 Newports or something? Like, you sound like Kermit the Frog, bro. You sound like Kermit the Frog. So, I don't know what's wrong with
MMA, what's up, buddy?
Clear that shit up, but what's going on? What's going on, man? But
what'd you think of the fight, brother?
It was a great night of fights. Let's talk about Bivol first. First of all, Bivol, he is very skilled, has good footwork, but he does not have power. He does not have power. I think Canelo might walk through him because if he sees that Bivol doesn't have his power, he might, take a couple of Bivol shots just to get inside. So, I just didn't like how Bivol went the distance with, a bum. But Lomachenko, great performance. I just didn't like the showboating. I didn't like how he was, trying to take it easy on Commey. Listen, this is boxing. You guys signed up for this, so knock the guy out. Like, people want to see you entertain us. So if you're not gonna, give us what we asked for, it's like, because Loma, he wants undisputed, right? If you want undisputed, you need to really put on a great performance. Obviously, it was great, but I'm saying if you could knock the guy out, why not knock him out, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't understand, of him going the distance with Commey, even though he could knock them out. A great performance by Lomachenko. Donaire had a great stoppage, to the body. I mean, I want to see him versus Inoue. I want to see Lomachenko either fight Shakur or fight the winner of Kambosos Haney. Because let's be honest, I know a lot of people don't like Haney, but we need to give him. I think he needs to have his shot first. I think Haney deserves it. To be honest, like, this guy's been calling out the top for years now. I mean, whether you like it or not, he is the WBC champion. Go on any of the websites of WBA, IBF, WBO, they have Devin Haney as the real champion, as the WBC champion. So whether you like it or not, he is the champion. I think he deserves to fight. The winner of that could fight Lomachenko.
Well, MMA champ, can I just cut you off real quick, dude? I 100% agree with you. He is the champ because Loma got the franchise tag, giving up the regular belt, the actual world belt there. So, yes, he is. But as the champion, it's up to him to send contract offers to people he wants to fight. And calling people out on Twitter isn't the same thing. I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying, brother?
I think Haney is building up his resume. I think Haney, is building up his resume and stuff like that, and is starting to prove that, that he does have skill and everything. But before I hop off, I wanted to talk about Keyshawn Davis, Anderson, and Zayas. Listen, these guys are great talents. I mean, I think Top Rank has the best prospects. Their prospects are just, I like the way they're moving their prospects too. They're stepping up. They don't let them fight a good contender than a bum neck. They keep stepping them up. I like that. I mean, Keyshawn Davis looked calm and collective in there. I mean, good defense by Keyshawn. I mean, he looked like a veteran in there. I'm being honest.
He's
great
a problem.
KO by Anderson, and great kill by Big Baby Anderson. He's flashy. He's a good fighter. I think he's the hope of American heavyweight boxing. Sandra Zayas. Next, Tito Trinidad. I think he will be the face of Puerto Rican boxing. And Nico Ali Walsh, the white Ali. He's a hipster. Listen, he's just a clown. He's going to get exposed soon. But shout out to BDA. But that guy who called him before me, he is a crackhead. And he sounded like that dropped on his head as baby.
All right, come on, man.
And he sounded like a tattoo baby.
All right, well, take it easy, MMA champ. Thank you for your call, man. Take it easy.
Take it easy, MMA.
Hey, want to give a big shout out to Stephen Bateman for his contribution with the super chat, who says he was clarifying his comment about Usyk and Joshua. He says Usyk didn't give it his best; he held back. All right, well, listen, if he held back, then I hate to be Joshua and have a 100% Usyk in there. But shout out to Stephen Bateman, and shout out to Bateman again, who became a loyal BDA member. He just joined the BDA membership program. So shout out to Stephen. Thank you for hopping on, and thank you for helping us out, man. I really appreciate it. All right.
BDA, I said the same thing after when everybody was saying, remember they were judging what he would do against Joshua because he didn't look spectacular. I can't remember the fighter's name against one of the was it Chisora? Maybe, I don't know. But I was saying, and thank you, brother. And I was saying right off the rip, I'm like, believe me, that guy you saw fighting Chisora is not who you're going to see against Joshua. I remember, you can go back, I was saying that right from day one. Because everybody was like, I was like, he's just not gonna. He's that schooled. He's not gonna use all his bag of tricks unless he feels he was behind on the cards or he was really having trouble. And I don't think at any time he was mentally thinking he was in trouble. So that's why I wasn't surprised. And that's why I picked him to beat Joshua.
There you go, man. Yeah, that's what the caller was trying to clarify as well. I mean, the comment was clarifying as well. Let's go to 678. 678, you're on the air. 678, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up, BA? What's up, panel? I just kind of want to bring up a situation that happened. I don't know if you guys recall. There's a few videos on YouTube of Teofimo, and Rolly. But what they're doing is they're calling out Ryan Garcia, who's, I guess, watching the fight with him. And in the background, you can hear Teofimo's dad, "That nigga ain't shit. That nigga, fuck that nigga." I just want to bring up, man, like, how fucking hilarious his dad can be without him, purposely trying to be funny.
Yeah, that's true. He's a bit of a train wreck that's fun to watch when he's not trying to be hilarious, man. That's a good point. That's an excellent
when he's not, you're a family member.
Yeah, and when you're not near him, yeah, it can be entertaining to watch. Anything else, caller?
One last thing, BDA.
Yes.
One last thing. So, we all know that Ryan Garcia was talking shit on social media. Well, it looks like he might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew. Would you guys not say that now that, Pitbull called him out like that, or, just said what's fucking obvious, called him a glass jaw, internet champion, all that shit?
Yeah, man. I mean, they're doing a lot of talking, and that type of talking is they're digging themselves a hole. They talk a big game, and then if they don't deliver, they just look bad. So some of these guys need to shut.
You're not doing yourself any favors. There's a brand. I mean, there's got to be somebody with some self-control over there. Say, listen, that's just not. People don't need to hear from you, dude. When you're backing out of fights, and then you're gonna critique other people's shit, dude. Just shut up. Just don't say nothing. You know, you could say, hey, good fight tonight.
Hey, can I say one
you know,
thing?
hopefully someday. There's many things he could have said without turning people off.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right on with, you know, there needs to be a fucking, you know, somebody watching them and like controlling the situation. It's getting out of control. But then look at who that person could be. It's fucking Oscar De La Hoya, man. It's the same fucking circus. I mean, you know?
That's a good point, man. Yeah, he's not in this world half the time. He's in the snowland, if you know what I mean. So,
but he
man.
was, at least Oscar in his day was good at hiding his indiscretions until they came out to bite him. You know, lawsuits with children everywhere. But at least he did well. He had that fake golden image. He hid the cocaine and the bitches behind the scenes pretty good.
Hey, he had the cocaine, the bitches, and that cross-dresser weird shit. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I like how you put that in there as if that's a positive. Like, yeah, he's got the hand speed, the power, and the cross-dressing. All right, but well, listen, caller, thank you for your call. We got to move on, but call back next time.
Have a good one.
You too, man.
Take it easy, bro. You're great. Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Hey, just want to say too, BDA, MMA champ was 100% on. That Keyshawn John Davis,
yeah,
that kid's a problem.
Yeah,
man, I tweeted out, this dude's at 140 right now. Top guy's probably doing the math. All right, he's at 4 fights. When will I be retiring?
Yeah,
listen, when that kid's up around, you know what I mean? When he's around 20 fights, I mean, he's strong, he's big, he's quick. He's got the right kind of nasty. And again, I always say, man, when you have the good people, the people who know their shit, like Bud Crawford, just absolutely praising you right out of the Olympics. He went and sparred with him, and he's, Bud was said that a while ago now. It was right after the Olympics. He sparred with him. And I actually think before, too, and he was like, this kid's for real. And Bud's real high on him. I think, didn't even Bud sign him? Is he under Bud's doing some promotional thing now? I thought that's what they said last night. But his brother's good, but Keyshawn, and and Xander Zayas, whew, that fucking kid, every time out he looks better at 19. I don't think he's going to be a welterweight. I don't think you'll ever see him at welterweight at any top level. I think he's going to be too big. I think by the time he's 21, he'll be having a hard time staying at 154. He's probably going to end up around middleweight, or like Steve Kim said, 168. But fucking talent, 2 blue chippers. Nobody right now is fucking got blue chips like fucking Top Rank does.
Yeah, that's insane, man. Let's go. Well, hopefully it happens that they go a long way, man, because you just never know with prospects. Right now, all we see is the potential, but we'll see what happens. They're looking good now. 818, you're on the air. 818, what's on your mind? 818, you're on the air. Going once.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air, 818. What's on your mind?
Hello? Yes, I had a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I had a question. The win, the loss that Lopez had with Kambosos, do you guys really think that if he was, healthy, like the Teofimo Lopez that we know, you think he would have had the win over him? Or, that really affected him? The fact that he was...
Caller? Well, can I answer that?
Yes.
Because I've pondered on it a lot. Not really. The reason being, he didn't know. He thought he thought he might have had a cold or something, but he didn't know it was going to be a second wind problem until he was into the fight. But here's the problem. He came out of the gate with too much hubris. You know what I mean? Like, whether he was healthy or not, that had nothing to do with his game plan. He came out totally expecting, his father was screaming it from the mountaintops. He was going to fucking put Kambosos a mandatory out in 1 round. And when he not only didn't do that, but got seated, that shook him. And then now that's a fucking all starts coming in. Then it's probably in his head, fuck, plus I'm not feeling good. But you know what? I never heard his father ask him once about his breathing. I try to go back and listen to it. I fast forwarded till each corner, and I just try to listen. I didn't hear anybody ask him about his breathing. And if he went in with any kind of a chest, a respiratory issue, you would have thought somebody would have said, "Hey, how's your breathing, man? how's your lungs feeling out there? Nobody even brought it up. So I don't know how much of a fucking factor that went going in, but if he did have what he had, yes, that can be dangerous. You know what I mean? But that's my opinion on that, brother.
That's true. Well, I mean, I have one more question though before hang up. I mean, how do you guys think that he pulled that one off from Lomachenko though? I mean, that's like, it's crazy how he pulled that one off, like, a year ago.
Well, Lomachenko didn't fight for the first 6 rounds. Lomachenko didn't fight his game plan for the first 6 rounds. So you're asking how did he pull it off?
I saw that.
For the first 6. Yeah, for the first 6 rounds, Lomachenko didn't do anything, and Lopez capitalized on that. He won those rounds, and then the second half, it was too late. That's how he won.
Exactly. Do you think because he respected him too much? He was a little like, maybe I should be careful with this guy. Let me give him a couple more rounds.
Yeah.
Maybe I can settle up and then get comfortable.
Yes.
And then like you said, right, then it was too late and stuff.
I think he respected his power too much. I agree with Recognize.
He says that he was a little banged up on the shoulder. He ended up needing surgery. And then I think on top of that, he had to respect the power. I liked the wide stance from Teofimo coming forward, with the wide stance. That was pretty smart of him. But other than that, he didn't really do anything to like straight out beat him. You get what I'm saying? Nothing impressive on his part.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I just wanted to ask those questions, guys. Thank you, man.
Thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate
Thanks for calling, everybody.
Take it easy, man. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out.
I already hit it.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Shout out to...
I'm right down there for you, brother.
Always, man. Thank you. Shout out to Stephen Bateman for his contribution to the Super Chat. Says Lopez had a bad game plan. That's why he lost. Exactly. I wanted to add that to what Jimmy said. It's not so much that Lopez was incapacitated with the whole esophagus or whatever, but it's also the way he fought. He came right out of the gate, and that adrenaline rush, he got an adrenaline dump, and he couldn't get his second wind. Now, I also want to say that with Lomachenko, I think Lomachenko's shoulder injury did hinder him, but it's also like Jimmy said, Lopez fought a different fight. He didn't come out of the gate swinging. He was fighting very reserved. He was going to the body, countering to the body. So it was a little bit of both. But I think also now we see why Lopez didn't want to rematch Lomachenko, because the injury did play a part in the loss, and Lopez just said, you know what? I don't want... He never wants to rematch anybody. He wants to rematch Nakatani. He doesn't want to rematch Kambosos. Doesn't want to rematch Lomachenko. So it is what it is. By the way, shout out to Matt Chat Boxing in the chat. Everybody go to Matt Chats and subscribe.
Matt
Chat. Good shot.
I was on the show earlier.
Matt Chat. Always a good show, man. A lot of boxing knowledge. You can tell he's been...
Can I give my breakdown of the fight real quick? I just want to give you my... Oh, sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Okay. No, I'm just giving shout outs. But yes, go ahead, please.
All right. Like, obviously, I'm like you guys. I thought he won just about every single round. Maybe if you're nice, you give him 1 or 2 rounds to Commey. Commey's a tough motherfucker. I mean, you can't... The only knock I have on Lomachenko was that 7th round after he drops him with I forgot what shot it was, but it was a devastating shot. And you're playing this, hey, corner, stop the fight. Fuck all that. You got to go in there and you got to stop the dude. Now, besides that, the performance itself was perfect. I just didn't like that part. That part, like, I get it. People in the past have done it, like Roy Jones, maybe Sugar Ray Leonard. But fuck that. Like, just handle your business, go in there, knock this guy out. I think he missed an opportunity in that 7th round. I think he, in a way, people say, oh, he let him off the hook. He was nice. I don't know about all that. I just think that he was showboating because he was in cruise control and he thought he ended up knocking him out. But other than that, the fight was a blowout, and I think everybody knows talent-wise, skill-wise, who's the best lightweight.
I mean, recognize who can, because I mean, some people say, well, he went 12 rounds, but he didn't go 12 rounds running around the ring, throwing one shot at a time, clinching his way every time the other guy got close. He was right in front of Commey, letting his hands go, trying to stop him. Do you see anybody else right now in lightweight being able to do that against Commey? I mean, Lopez already knocked him out with one shot, but I'm talking dominating him throughout 12 rounds that way.
No, man. I don't really see anybody. I don't see. Maybe there's somebody I'm overlooking, but as of right now, no, I don't see. I think Lomachenko's being honest when they asked him questions about these fighters that have fights before his, right? Haney, Tank. I think they asked him, Tank pound for pound? No. He's like, he's not a pound for pound fighter. Devin Haney, when they asked him about the JoJo fight, they're like, he got hit with a lot of big shots, or something to that effect. He got hit with JoJo landed the better shots. And I agree. I agree. I don't think any of these guys. Kambosos could be an interesting fight because throws a lot of punches and he's pretty fast on his feet. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty fast. But other than that, that's probably the only guy I can see stylistically giving Lomachenko a pretty good fight. But still, I would take Loma to beat him. Devin Haney, he's going to cut the distance. See how rough he gets now on the inside?
Crazy.
Like, dude, he added a new wrinkle to his game, and that shit could fucking drain you. You know, Commey's a strong boy, but that could drain you as, you know, if you're a fighter that's used to one pace, a guy not cutting off the ring, and then when he does, he doesn't let you rest when you try to hold him. He's fucking punching you, wrestling you. Gets even a little dirty, if you ask me, but yeah.
Recognize he would push down on his head, brother, remember? Every time he came in low, he would just grab and shove down the back of his neck. That wears the fuck out of you. You know that, dude. It's crazy.
Yep. Absolutely, man. But, yeah, I think these guys, outside of Kambosos, stylistically, I take Loma to beat these guys pretty easy. And I would take him to beat Kambosos. And I think that whole thing is going to be interesting, right? Because if Kambosos is really serious about having his next defense in Australia, to me, there's only one guy that would go there. And I don't care what Devin Haney said. I don't believe he'll go there. And the asking price more likely would be too much. And even if they did give it to him, I don't think they're going to trust, you know, him going over there, close fight, and there's a good chance they give it to Kambosos. So if he sticks to his gun, BDA, I'm going to say to the guy that's going to do it. Remember, Loma put himself in position to be the number one contender for the WBO, I believe, and the IBF. I'm not 100% on that. If it's the IBF, then you know how strict they are. So he can invoke his mandatory status and force Kambosos to fight him, which I don't think is going to take that much, you know, twist in his arm. I think he's ready. He's ready for any of these guys, as long as you pay him nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's confident. Exactly. Yep. No, and you're right. And Haney would want a lot of money. I think he figured he was getting $3 million now, although his contract's up now with DAZN. He said he's going to still go with them going forward. But yeah, he would expect a lot of money. It really comes down to what the Australian fans, right? I mean, if they're going to have it there, they would have a lot to say. What I imagine a good promoter would listen to what the Australian fans, because after all, they're the ones who would fill up the auditorium. I think at this point they were just so happy with Kambosos, they will see him fight anybody. And to point out, Kambosos, we don't think of it because Teofimo was so much wider, he looked so much bigger. But in actuality, structurally, Kambosos is taller than so he'd be even taller than, you know, Teofimo to fight. So it would be a legitimate test. I mean, for Lomachenko to go there, plus the home crowd, having the other guys back and the confidence of, you know, coming off that win, would be a test. It'd be a good fight. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, I mean, listen, it's the Kambosos seems willing to do it, and Lomachenko wants to stay a lightweight. He doesn't want to fight Shakur Stevenson, so we'll see what happens there, man. Don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. All right, let's go to a phone call here. 626, you're on the air. 626, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? This is Chris K, Undercover Agent.
Oh, Chris, thank you for calling in, man. What's on your mind?
Chris, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, just a few things. But yeah, for example, with the Devin Haney Loma possible fight, I mean, given the way that JoJo basically just kind of walked Haney down a lot of times, and then those few body shots crumbled Haney. I mean, I think Loma would wipe Haney out. Commey was taking bad body shots, but I don't think Haney can take that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's that Jojo Diaz fight showed that he's got a couple of holes in his game. So, who would you like to see Lomachenko fight next?
I think who would I like to see, and who he actually would be able to fight, or we've been saying that they could be two different things. I don't think he's going to fight any of these guys who are being pushed by all the promotional companies. The four queens, as you say. I think the Kambosos fight probably is the most likely. But I think we keep talking about fighting in Australia would be big, but I mean, you can't even go to get a suntan on the beach over there. You guys know about how. Well, I'm not going to say
authoritarian,
explicitly, but you guys know. Yeah, I mean, I don't see. I mean, even the fighters who are returning to Australia or New Zealand, some of them can't even go home because I think they have a lottery system because you have to go to a specific hotel to quarantine. I don't think you can even go home when you fly back. Anyway, that's from what I hear.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I hadn't thought about that. The whole tyrannical government they have over there, where they're just locking people all over the place. I mean, it's insane. But yeah, man, that's well. Hopefully, if he fights Kambosos, maybe Kambosos stays in the U.S. or something. I don't know, and maybe they make it there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But hopefully,
they could always just do it in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Square Garden, maybe.
Hey, had a decent turnout too last night in the Madison Square Garden.
What was the announced tennis? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Yeah, just know it looked decent, man. Anything else, Chris, before we move on?
Yeah. I know this is about the UFC last night's fight, but it is striking related. If you guys know Amanda Nunes, she knocked out Rousey. She's been dominant in the women's 135 division, and she got knocked out, almost knocked out by a grappler with the worst striking. It was horrible. Go watch it, guys. Go watch the highlights. It's hilarious. She was like a 12-1 underdog.
Oh,
it is so bad.
And
bad. Go check it out, guys.
How did she lose, essentially?
Well, she basically got pieced up with some of the worst boxing I've ever seen.
Whoa!
And then she crumbled. Kind of like remember Conor McGregor against Diaz? He basically insta-tapped.
Right.
Because he was getting beat up on the feet. You guys remember? So it's basically like that. It wasn't even a tight choke. It wasn't even on the throat. It was on the jaw. No hooks. So it wasn't even a secure position. It was like Conor McGregor versus Diaz. Same thing.
Damn, that's insane, man.
Go check it out, guys. It's
money.
It's so
I
bad.
will, man. We will. All right.
So bad, it's good.
I love those type of fights. Take it easy, Chris K. Thank you for calling in, man.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Take it easy,
Thank you, man.
I'll keep listening.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I remember, what was the guy? The guy who beat Cain Velasquez, the Brazilian dude. It wasn't Junior Dos Santos. It was, he used to fight in Pride, too. Somebody in the chat knows who it is, who I'm talking. The guy who beat Cain Velasquez in Mexico. That dude, he used to train in Mexico, boxing, because he really knew that he had to improve his striking to make it big in MMA. He was a jiu-jitsu guy. And he was boxing pretty well. Like, you could tell that he had it down to a T. Well, not down to a T, but he was boxing better than other people. Then he gets knocked out by, was it the Croatian dude, I believe? Yeah, Verdum. Thank you, let me ace. Verdum, yeah. Fabricio Verdum. And he gets knocked out by the Croatian dude. And it was just one of the most awful. He was just chasing the guy, crossing his legs, chasing the dude, boom, runs into the right hand. You're thinking, man, these MMA guys, they work on their boxing, they look good, and then they still make fundamental mistakes that get them knocked out. It's bizarre. So I'm curious to see this Nunes fight now. Apparently she got pieced up.
No kidding, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out, man. Let's go to 919. You're on the air, 919. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How you doing, man?
Doing good. So this message is for Recognize. Is he there?
Yes, indeed.
Hey, Recognize. So I'm just curious, what do you normally use? What website do you use for boxing, like betting?
Recognize, are you there? I thought he was here.
He's doing a bathroom break.
He's taking a little smoking break. Jimmy, do you gamble? Online?
No.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
No. I was a little distracted.
Yeah, because I remember Recognize had a really good, mentioned a really good website that I actually went on, but then I cleared up all my cookies and totally forgot what the site was, and I've just been wanting to get back on there. I know that BUSR sucks, man.
Yeah, BetMGM, but you can get the app for that. What's the other one? FanDuel. I don't know if you like those type of websites, but they're good. They have good. They have good options there. You got good odds, all that stuff.
All right. Anything else?
They pay and they pay you right away too. They have a faster period. FanDuel does.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. You'll like it.
Great advice. Solid.
Got it.
Anything else, caller, before we move on?
Definitely so.
No, sir. Thank you so much. It was a really good fight last night.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thank you for calling in.
Keep it going.
VDA, what did you think about your fellow countryman from Peterborough?
From Peterborough? What? Who?
Peterborough, Ontario.
Oh, that
Crowley.
dude. Yeah. Well, let me get to another phone call here, and then we'll get to it because we're almost done here.
All right.
Yeah, Crowley. Colby Crowley, whatever he's saying. 612, you're on the air. 612, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hey guys, what's up?
Oh, Tin Man, how you doing, man? Thank you for calling in.
Tin Man, what's up, buddy?
Hey. What's up, Jimmy? Yeah, all good. Excellent fight. Like I said last time, Lomachenko is the best lightweight. And next time, Lomachenko, please go finish the guy off. Don't depend on his corner to stop him. And yeah, I think he should fight Kambosos. He will. I think that'll be a good fight. Get the belts, and then once and for all, finish off Haney and finish all this controversy of undisputed, disputed. Couple of things. I'm sick and tired of them trotting out this Nico Ali Walsh. And he's like the Campbell Abden of Top Rank, I guess. I mean, the guy is not a natural boxer, man. He just is so stiff and he gets pieced up a lot. I mean, the guy they found yesterday, he was like some guy who just comes to work out in 9 rounds, and his opponent didn't even know to box properly, and he was able to hit that Ali Walsh so much. And one more point I wanted to make is again, Andre. I don't know if you saw that clip circulating on Twitter with Andre Ward saying that Canelo is cherry picking and comparing him to Tank. I wanted to know your guys' opinion on that. And lastly,
what did he say? He blocked me. What did he say?
Yeah, so he said that he said that he was. I don't know why they brought up Tank. Tank is not so high on the pound for pound list, and he's doing. Tank is essentially doing the same thing that Canelo is. But I think Bernardo Osuna came back and said that you just can't. He kind of indirectly said that you just can't compare Tank to Canelo because Canelo is fighting undefeated world champions, legit world champions, and Tank is not doing the same. So, I mean, that grudge is clearly there in Andre Ward's mind. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it there. Anyways, those are my thoughts, guys. I listen to the podcast. Thanks.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
thank you. Always appreciate you.
Tin Man, I agree with them, dude. Did you hear them last night? Like during in between intermission, like Tim Bradley and they were kind of dick riding Tank Davis. Which the reason why I wouldn't personally, if I was Bob, I'd be like, listen, if I could talk up a fight that has no intention to fight now, guys, like I don't know, man. It's just especially on a network, they don't talk up. They won't even mention Lomachenko's name with Tank fights. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of a fucked up thing. I never know what drives Ward. Sometimes it isn't his opinion. There's other things that drive him. But
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
It was bizarre, man. But look, Tank Davis, he's still a very dangerous fella, but he needs to step it up with his competition, his performances. That's for sure. Bradley was the one that was, I don't know, he's on and off for me as a commentator. He tends to do well sometimes, but then all the times he'll just whoo. Every time he starts hooing when somebody lands a good shot, I was like, man.
Yeah, yeah. Every time somebody throws a big shot, ooh, he's oohing and shit. Yeah. I mean, I think Ward's better than he is, but I really didn't like that Tank Davis. It's like, why would you give a kid the shine who not only won't fight your network affiliate that you're working for, not only won't he fight your guys, but he glory snatches off them. Like, why would you give shine to that dude? I don't know. I was very disappointed with Tim Bradley on that shit.
Yeah, man, it was bizarre, man. But I mean, listen. I try to pay I try not to pay too much attention to the commentators. Now you mentioned
the peanut gallery.
What do you mean? It was brought to my attention. That's why somebody dropped me a DM and said, "You catch that?" And because I normally fast forward through that shit.
You wanted to mention too, because man, there was a lot of boxing last night. We had
Cody Crowley.
That dude. They both looked stiff in the beginning. They didn't look like world class boxers. What is this? What is this fight? What's going on here? And then he got dropped. I go, oh, we're in for a good one. But nope, he just walked that Uzbekistani guy down and never stopped coming. He reminded me a little bit. You guys tell me. He reminded me a little bit of Cesar Rangvisai. Southpaw pressure fighter, very stiff. He looks like he's easy to hit, but there's some craft there behind what he's doing, and really, really strong dude too. Very strong welterweight. You see his back, very wide back, very muscle bound.
Well, he's normally 154. I think he's even done some MMA too. But yeah, very big dude, and he came in at 145, which is odd. He came in at 2 pounds under the limit, which is strange for a dude that big. But yeah, no, I've been. I started because he was a hockey player. I guess he started out as a hockey player, like most kids in Canada. Mm-hmm. He's kind of like a Zen Buddhist. He does a ton of meditating and stuff. He's self-promoted. Like he did his own promotion, sold his car, like they said. So I've been following the kid. I didn't really talk about him on the show just because I don't know if he was for real. I just started following him on Instagram and reading his shit. But listen, and he throws punches, man. His punches are weird, right? They're almost like, they're not fucking crab punches, but at the end, he kind of turns his elbow over at a weird angle that it almost hides the punch because it releases from his body coming straight at you. And what he does, he lifts up his elbow in a weird kind of way, which normally you don't tell people to do. The longer you keep your elbow to your body, the more power you're going to have behind your punch. That's just the physics of it. But he was still, the way he was delivering punches, it's odd. And I think that's why he was piecing up that Uzbekistani kid. Who's usually pretty good on his feet because I don't think you've seen a lot of those punches coming. And he's a tough kid. He can take a shot. I think that shot to put him down, his feet were crossed. If you remember, he was kind of hunched down and at a weird angle. Completely his fault. Lazy what he did. And but it was like a flash knockdown off balance because he jumped right back up and there was nothing wrong with his eyes. I think he's going to – I'm just curious now because he supposedly sparred Floyd like 150 rounds or so. I wonder now because who's going to run to sign him now? If he was really in Floyd's gym and he never signed him, then shame on Floyd because he needs guys. But anyways, I think that kid, he's going to make for some entertaining fights because he's a come-forward kid. That's what I like.
Yeah, man. I mean, absolutely. He's man, him and Errol Spence, I think Errol Spence takes him out maybe, but it would be hard for as long as he goes, especially since we don't know what Errol Spence has left. It would be a bad fight for Spence to take as a comeback because this guy ain't Danny Garcia. He will come forward and let his hands go. So interesting to see what would happen there, man, between those fellas.
Yep.
Let's go to a phone call here. 212, you're on the air. 212, what's on your mind?
Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know, you have the best show on, the best boxing show. I really enjoy your show. I just started listening to it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And, yeah, all of you guys are great. And you got to start doing more of the Second Renaissance show, too, man. I'm looking forward to that. And the one complaint I have with ESPN, is it me or is the play-by-play guy try to sound too much like Joe Buck? And I think Tim Bradley is terrible.
Joe Buck Jr. or Joe Buck, the original?
Junior.
Yeah, Junior. I think he tries to sound too much like Joe Buck. I think he's terrible. And
Joe Testatora? Is that who you're talking about? Joe Testatora?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does Monday Night Football, right? Or he did last year. He was doing either Monday or Thursday night. I know he grabbed an NFL contract and he was doing baseball. So I definitely see it. Very similar styles, very prominent on certain words. And yeah, I know you can definitely see him sounding like that. That's a good observation. I didn't notice that before, but yeah, now I can.
He's Italian.
Yeah.
There you go, fucking knucklehead.
But
I don't know what that had anything to do with.
Yeah, exactly.
Just throw it out there.
I was going to
So
say.
I'm gonna do it. It's the easiest thing to do when you're dealing with a guinea. Oh, come on, you're Italian. Yeah, that's true.
but I just wanted to call in and tell you guys, Jimmy, all of you guys are great, and it's something I really look after fight night. I always look forward to listening to what you guys have to say. I really enjoy your show.
Thank you, man.
Well,
and I'm going to donate some money to your show. And
thank you very
keep up
much,
the great
man.
job. You know.
Thank you. That really.
Man, I want to ask
really,
Paula, is he the guy that cursed out Bill de Blasio? Is that him? Kind of sounds like him a little bit.
What's that?
He asked if you were the guy who cussed out Bill de Blasio.
Yeah, did you curse out Bill de Blasio a couple of months ago? Because you sound like the same guy a little bit.
No, but I wish I did. I live in New York City now. He's the worst mayor of all time. He's terrible. New York City.
Agreed.
See, I moved out here in 06, right? And if you even jumped a turnstile, right, you'd get arrested right on the spot. Okay? Now you got guys urinating, you guys taking dumps right on the train. It's a complete animal house.
Talk about
New York City is so dirty now. I'm telling you, it's people leaving in droves.
Sounds like my apartment.
They don't even pick up trash. They don't even pick up the trash on the right days. I mean,
man.
But it's very progressive.
What's that?
I mean, listen.
I said it's very progressive. Sorry.
Yeah, the day they.
I mean,
somebody sucker punched. What's his name? That Canadian actor from Ghostbusters, the nerd guy, Rick Moranis. I mean, come on, who would?
Rick Moranis, yes.
Right. Who would want to just sucker punch? I don't know. He's in the Upper East Side, and he gets cocked. I mean, come on.
Well, they have no fucking recognized said, man. Besides Bellevue, they have no more mental. I mean, they just dump the fucking. They always say the homeless problem. It's not just because these people have no homes. They want to be there. These are mentally ill or they're drug addicts. Yeah, it's like they released the fucking insane asylum on the streets onto society, and then the society's assholes if they complain about them. We're fucked right now. I agree with him 100%.
Yeah, Jimmy hit it right on the head. Most of the homeless, 90% of them are mentally ill. There was one guy, he pushed a girl into a moving train, right? Thank God the train was already passed, so she didn't get pushed out in front, but she hit the train while it was moving. The guy was, mentally ill. There's no cops. No presence in the subway station. I mean, but yeah, 90% of the homeless mentally ill, and it's just it's complete madness now. It's not the New York City when I first moved here. And,
Giuliani, yeah.
You know.
Well, BDA, did you see real quick? Terrible, just say it fucking. Did you guys see the guy got attacked? He was taking money out of the ATM, middle of the day in New York, and some dude attacked him with a hatchet.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's nuts. There's guys punching women, taking their purses. It's just complete madness here now. And
listen, hopefully hopefully things get better.
Keep safe, brother.
Yeah, stay safe out there. Thank you for the call, man. We gotta move. All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, man.
Keep up the.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Yes, yeah, really. This type of comments always get us going. They motivate us. Let's go to.
That was very nice of them.
Indeed, man. Let's go to 347. You're on the air. 347. What's on your mind?
Yo, BG, I had to call in, bro. I had to call back in.
Uh-oh.
Let's keep it all the way funk. Let's keep it a buck. Listen, whoever the call was, don't you ever disrespect New York, nigga. Don't you ever disrespect New York, bro. You bum ass nigga.
Oh, there you go. MMA champ standing up from New York. That's the way it's supposed to be done. Oh,
But didn't MMA say the same thing a couple of months ago? Did he say it's full of crazy people?
He probably did, right? I mean,
he probably did. He's one of them.
He's one of them. Yeah. All right. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. Okay. So the other fight that don't forget to hit the like button, fellas. Really helps us out. Really, please hit the like button. The other fight that took place last night. There was a lot of fights. Conor Benn knocking out Chris Algieri. Jimmy, I think were you depressed after that result or?
No. Oh no! Listen, yeah, no. It was now because listen, he was a spent bullet to begin with, bro, and he was just on borrowed time. And like Pacquiao wasn't trying to lay him out. And every time he was getting hit, it's just he's not one of the type of dude who's going to get knocked out normally. But you don't have to always get knocked out. Like you can be just susceptible to just flash knockdowns. I mean, you might not go all the way up, but you're one of those dudes. Just pop, you hit him. Whoop, lights go for a split second. You go down to get all up, and they might shake it off quick. But I think he's even lost step after the time's gone by. So it happened exactly like I thought it would. Slow, put his hands out the way he caught that shot, left his head up in the air. Things you don't do when you're fighting a lot. And, a young, hungry kid, they just fed him to him. They just wanted to put a name, because he went life and death with that Russian kid. And it was just a name, Chris Algieri. He's articulate, talks well at the fucking press conference. That's all it was. They fed him a name, but the results was exactly like I said would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was surprised that he knocked him out that way because I didn't think Conor Benn was that type of puncher, but evidently he is now. I think
but BDA, hold back on that. That's what's dangerous about those kind of feeds. It gives people, if not the fighter, but the fans, like, oh wow, it might overinflate his real punching power. Like a solid kid, Virgil Hill wouldn't have went out on that. I mean, Virgil Ortiz or one of the other guys at welterweight. You know what I mean? I just think Chris Algieri has no chin to begin, at all.
Yeah, man, that's a good point because I mean he did knock out Vargas, stopped him.
Well, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
He knocked out a cupcake, a maricon, a fussy boy. He didn't really knock out anybody important.
Fucking recognize with the color. I love it.
I mean, look, he hits hard enough. Let's put it that way. Because
he hits. He's power.
You're right. I mean, he's got power.
It's the same as his father, but yeah.
But
his father
let's
had
not
legendary power.
Oh, yeah. That was another type of power. But let's not forget, man. I mean, Conor Benn did look, you can give him angles, roll with the shots like Granados did, and he looked very bad. Is Algieri better than Granados at this stage in their careers? I don't think so. I think Granados has more left in the tank. He's
absolutely. Granados would fucking beat him.
Right. I mean, Granados did give Sean Porter and Broner very tough fights, and Garcia was just a bad styles matchup for him. But Granados is a wily fighter in there. He's got some craft to him now. So we'll see what happens with Benn. The big thing with Benn is that he says he wants to fight Adrian Broner, who might or might not be another spent bullet. I mean, let's not forget, he did struggle in his last fight, Broner did, against a guy
and he's looking to leave the PBC even, he says, which I think he can't because he's under contract, plus Heyman has his money. But did you see he tweeted out, I want to fight, I want to become a champion again and prove all the haters wrong, and it's either going to be here or with the Zone. It looks like I'll be calling, or I got to hit up EH.
Who's EH? Oh, Eddie Hearn.
Eddie Hearn, yeah, which is kind of funny because last time Eddie Hearn offered him money he called him a slave. It was a slave contract.
But how many fights does Broner have left in his contract? Are you aware or speculate?
Well, again, this is what if you go back, T Controversy read the whole. I believe he read the whole contract, a PBC contract. And from what else I was told, it depends on money, how they get you. Like, for instance, that kid last night, Cody, right? The kid from Canada. I think it's probably in his contract if he was to upset the PBC. Like, again, he was begging for that shot. That was, it was kind of an unknown type thing. And he was, begging for that shot. I'm sure he would have signed anything. And I'm sure it was in that contract. If you do beat our, number one, he was the number one ranked guy, your next fight has to be on PBC. without having to even get him under management, and then they could start to work on him. I don't know who he's actually with, his management company, but I would bet my life it was in the contract that his next fight, and then it's probably structured from there. But I know with the big guys, it's about money. For every $1 million you have to fight, if you earn $1 million, you're under contract for 1 more year, that type of thing. And that's why there was speculation Thurman was sitting out both times for that long of a time. But so who knows?
Well, listen, Conor Benn, it would be a nice little interesting fight, but so far Conor Benn's best opponents, Samuel Vargas, which, he's impressive that he was able to stop him so early. Then he, struggled to land clean on Granados, and then now he beats Algieri by fantastic knockout. So things are looking good for him. Let's see what happens. He's not the quickest guy out there. He's not the hardest puncher, not the most skilled, but he's putting in the work, man. He's putting in an effort. And
out of all the welterweights in his position, I would say maybe right slightly behind, Virgil Ortiz. But in the up-and-coming welterweights that we see that's out there, I don't rate him as the top, probably even 3.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
No, Conor Benn.
So, he's a contender, but I don't know how far he'll take it.
Well, I think the commentators said that he's a fringe contender now. That's where he's at. Because he just beat, again, Chris Algieri, very good fighter, blah, 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 but he was 37, 38. So let's put it in perspective. But nevertheless, he knocked him out. And so you got to give him props for that. At least he took him out and didn't struggle with the guy. That would have been a whole other thing. Now, the other thing, Sonny Edwards also fought last evening in Saudi Arabia, I believe, or somewhere in the East. And he put on a dominating performance against some Filipino dude, I think. It was just easy for the guy. He's the guy. I think he also beat Mathelane this year. So very good for him. And the other fight that we had, Nonito Donaire knocking out Carballo. Very impressed with that. Early on, it seemed like he was struggling a little bit, but I knew he was just biding his time. Donaire was. And he was. What I like about Donaire now, too, is before he knocked him out with that body shot, which again, that left hook of his, I always thought, man, if he went with that left hook downstairs more, he could cause some serious problems, and indeed he did. But I also like how he throws that right hand, Donaire. He doesn't load up, and it's just like he taps you with it. But they're hard taps that distract people from the left hook that's coming. So Donaire right now, he seems to be in a resurgence. 2 knockout wins in a row. And then, of course, he gave Inoue his toughest fight yet. So, guys, what do you think about Donaire Casimero? How would that look?
I personally think Donaire would beat him, but go recognize.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's crazy. I know, especially in that weight class, guys age, they're supposed to age faster. But it seems like since he's gone back to 118, he's so fucking strong, right? Like he can just... He's still powerful that for the most part, he's overwhelming even top tier contenders. Obviously not Inoue, but everybody else. And the one thing about what's his name? What was his name again?
Carballo.
No, not Carballo. The guy he's about to fight.
Casimero, maybe.
Yeah. Casimero's, yeah. Drawing a blank. Casimero defense is kind of bad, man. It's really kind of bad. So, I got to give Nonito Donaire a great shot of knocking him out. Just fucking take him out. Don't get me wrong. He has to be careful with Casimero. Casimero could knock him out too or hurt him real bad. But I think more likely it's the other way around.
Excuse me.
Yeah, because there's
Agreed.
They were asking him about, like they said, well, Casimero, and that was supposed to happen earlier on, but Donaire didn't like the how the contract looked when it came to the blood testing and all that dope testing. So that didn't happen. Now they're asking him about Inoue, a rematch, and I don't know if he can do better than what he did last time against Inoue. Could he? I mean, would you guys be interested in an Inoue rematch? Or because that's what it seems like they're talking about a little bit too.
Well, he wants to unify. That's why they're talking. He really, again, that's, he's pushing to unify like a lot of people now, which is a good thing. I don't know. I mean, you could say that Inoue's been so inactive and they're not testing him, which is shocking to me that they're not really pushing that kid more, but that's a whole nother show. But Yeah, he could do a little better this time because I think his confidence has grown, and in the fight game, confidence is the world. But although Raymond, that kid last night, remember that kid last night got a gift decision last time out on PBC, and I don't know if he was for real. I don't know if he's fought a lot of local, I don't think he fought a lot of top end guys outside of where his home country. So who knows how for real he was. I know I thought he lost the last time he was out, but Donaire's that left hook, what makes him, like you said, he prods with that right hand, it's because he's a natural southpaw. He writes with his left hand. So that's his dominant hand. It would be like a right-handed guy fighting, southpaw. It's, you know what I mean? So it's still, even though it's your backhand, it's not your dominant hand. So it's not going to be usually as powerful. He was just able to learn how to work his dominant hand, his left, into such a crazy left hook. And that liver shot was brutal. He caught him right under the elbow, right square on that organ. And I'm telling you right now, that dude's not going to shit for a month without thinking about him. I'm telling you right now, oh, man. Every time he farts, he's going to be a tear in his eye. That was a fucking brutal fucking body shot. And he even said it, Donaire said that was a sick fucking body shot I hit him with.
Yeah, the guy got up and then went back down. Oof.
Yeah, because his legs wouldn't let him. Your legs just aren't there. He tried to stand up. His legs was like, what are you doing? I ain't ready yet. And I'm telling you, it's scary. The first few seconds, you don't feel. If they get you good enough, that's why they used to call that, what's that, the shot they give women to freeze them from the waist down when they give birth. Whatever that's what they used to call those liver shots, because it just literally numbs your fucking lower extremities. And trying to get your first breath back, that's the worst.
Yeah, we used to. That's why we. Yeah,
feels like forever.
That's the thing, though. We don't that fancy.
You could take a punch that takes the wind out of you. You know how you ever get hit, let's say somewhere around your chest or in your stomach, and you feel that little. You kind of hold you kind of like don't want to let that tense go because you feel like you're gonna like just fucking faint. You can get away with that with that kind of shot, but a fucking a shot to like the liver, nah, there's nothing really. There's nothing really you could do for that one, man.
No, man.
You just gotta take the knee. You gotta take the knee or the.
I would rather be fucking knocked out any day of the week, brother. I've said that my whole life. I'd rather be fucking two-pieced, knocked out, because then you wake up like, whoa, what the fuck? Little groggy and shit, like you drank too much, opposed to that because you're so mentally conscious and you feel every bit of it and you just want to breathe. Oh, it's just such an ugly, ugly feeling.
Yeah,
when he went to stand back up and his legs like, no, fucking right back. Because when you stand up, what you do, you're also stretching your liver back up and it just gives you another shock wave. I mean, I've been down with a liver shot for like a minute and a half and I went to stand up and it was like a little fucking zap right there at the end. Of course, just get everybody giggling at me a little harder. Yeah, it's an ugly, ugly thing, the body shot. And to recognize the point of solar plex, when you get punched in the chest, in your chest plate, that'll knock the wind out of you. You can really get the wind knocked out of you that way. But a liver shot takes your extremities out. Just fucking deadens you from the waist down. And it's that delay, that 1.5 seconds is the worst because you know it's coming. And then it comes and poof.
Man, let me tell you, you need to have balls like with Gatti, the way he got up from that Mickey Ward shot. That was impressive that he was able to make it up from that. But I mean, yeah, man.
Unbelievable.
But I'm looking at the ratings here, man. I'm looking at Donaire, the Bantamweight division. Something for, forget about Donaire for the moment. For Inoue, there's not much out there. I mean, if you look at the ratings, he's already really beaten most of the top guys. There's guys that he hasn't fought in the lower top 10. Rashid Warren, Gary Russell, Antonio Russell, Lee McGregor, maybe Ligondau, but I mean, at this point, Ligondau, he just thinks that joins out so much. It's a no-win situation. He already beat Rodriguez. He already beat Donaire. Casimero would really be the only option for Inoue, and that would only be fun for as long as it lasts, because like you guys said, Casimero is way too open. Same thing with... So I'd rather see Donaire, Casimero. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, Donaire, he's had his time and all that. I would rather see Inoue versus Casimero, and Donaire should fight Emmanuel Rodriguez, which was a fight that was supposed to take place, I think, last year or this year. That would be a nice fight. See who gets Inoue next. And if he beats Rodriguez, who got robbed against Carballo, then you could, I think he's earned himself a shot at Inoue. Because then we would say, okay, now, he's on a 3-fight winning streak. Let's see what he can do against Inoue. Maybe that fight, maybe he does something different. But right now, I'd rather see Inoue take out Casimero, man. But again, Inoue, who knows what type of promotional issues he's going through, why they can't get him any big fights. So we'll see, man. Let's go to a phone call real quick. Let's go to 661. You're on the air. 661. What's on your mind?
Hey, BDA, what's going on, BDA? I just wanted to call again, and I want to say pardon me for my passionate rant earlier. I didn't mean to disrespect anybody on your panel. I do not mean to do that. I just have a question for Recognize, if that's fine.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I'm all ears.
I heard Recognize. What's going on, Recognize?
What's going on, buddy?
I heard you say earlier, you were talking about, who was it again? You were talking about Conor Benn, how he knocked out a Marigon. And I looked up Marigon, and apparently that's a homophobic term. Are you homophobic?
No, sir, I am not.
I'm just calling.
I love all people. I love all people.
I'm just asking because it's 2021, and I feel like love is love, and you have to realize that you can't make judgments upon people because you don't understand what people. Me, I'm not a homosexual. I'm really not. I'm just speaking up for my people. That I know homosexuals, right? Like Baphomet. Baphomet is a transsexual. He doesn't discriminate. He enjoys everything, right? And have you guys ever took a dump, and that feeling of the first dookie sliding out of your asshole feels good?
All right.
That's because there's nerves up there in your rectum. There's nerves up there in your prostate. And apparently, if your prostate gets rubbed, there's a mind-blowing orgasm, and there's a G-spot up there. So we can't judge homosexuals. What if we're missing out? What if we're missing out on a great feeling? Right?
No.
Didn't you ever see that movie Road Trip when the nurse fucking sticks her finger up that dude's ass and milks him? That way she called it. She pushed on his gland. He's like, no,
right. Apparently up there in your prostate, there's nerves or something that it's like a G spot, and I think that's why they like spreading their cheeks.
Okay, why are we talking about this, caller? I mean, did you really call in to talk about ass fucking on a boxing show, man?
BDA, I'm not homosexual. I'm not.
I know you said it, but I mean, come on, this is we're talking. I zoned out right now for a couple of seconds. I'm looking at the time queue. Do we have to go? What else do we have to talk about? I gotta take a phone call. I'm looking at the chat.
No, BDA.
I hear about ass fucking.
The last time I called, you said you want to open your third eye, but not your brown eye or something like that.
That's right.
I understand,
Whoa.
I understand, but you can't judge others Recognize.
Yes, I can.
Because what if Recognize?
No, I said macaronis. Huh? Macaroni. I said macaroni.
Yeah, he said macaroni. He said macaroni, not maricon. I think you misunderstood. You misheard what he said. But it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's chalk it all up to a misunderstanding and try to get out of this as cleanly as possible. All right, man?
All right, BDA. I don't mean to come on your channel and try to ruin the vibe. I had this girlfriend that tossed my salad
once,
and I can't sit here and say I didn't enjoy it.
Okay,
right?
Well,
hey, BDA. Before I go, remember you told me about the second Renaissance?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Is it cool if I suggest the chatters to go to my channel? I have the best boxing channel on the planet, and I'm more famous than Tupac, so it's not like I'm trying to leech off of you. We can help each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, you would actually be helping us. Yes, go ahead. What's the name of your channel, man?
My YouTube channel is The Fight is Spirit 47, and all my videos that I posted in the recent days have gone viral because I am the architect of the algorithm. I am Viral Vinny. They have more views than your videos that you posted because I am the architect of the algorithm, right? And we're going to help each other. I have the best boxing channel. No disrespect to BDA, no disrespect to everybody else, but I have the best boxing content out there. It's The Fight is Spirit 47. The E's are threes. And yeah, check out my channel and I have good content.
I will check it. Everybody go check out The Fighting Spirit 47. The Fighting Spirit 47. He's the architect. Yes, go ahead.
I did subscribe to Second Renaissance, so I'll be tuned in as soon as you hop on that. So,
Fantastic. Can't wait to hear more about the nerve endings in the fucking ass. But listen,
that's all I wanted to say. Recognize. I'm not saying he has hate in his heart, but you can't judge. Maybe one day Recognize will have something up his ass and he'll enjoy it too.
The way he just, all right, take it easy, man. Thank you, fighting spirit. Take it
Peace
easy,
and
man.
love, man. Peace and love.
Peace and love, yeah. Not too much love. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm usually I go along with the phone calls and everything, man. The weirdness, but man, that one sort of caught me off guard, man.
Oh yeah. I wonder if he's Ignacio Nunez. I think is his name.
Who's
in
that?
The chat. Some guy that said that I was born in Kiev.
No, this guy's fighting spirit. This guy is fighting spirit 47. He's a whole.
Okay.
Right.
Hey, so what did you think of Lomachenko last night? Well, I got a new pair of anal beads. What? Fucking that came out. I didn't see the conflation. How did that kind of tie together? But because of Recognize. Actually, I didn't even think fucking that's what that word meant. But wow.
I said macaroni. I meant to say macaroni.
That's what I thought you said.
And by the way, when he says you can't judge or you should, why not? Why can't we judge? Isn't that what life's all about? Judging people? Yeah,
that's what life's all about. I've been judged my whole fucking life. I've been used as a bad example. Sorry,
there's a lot of weirdos. I'm sorry. There's a lot of weirdos on YouTube. They're like, you got to support the fighters. You got to be like, supportive and. Supportive, like they say supportive, like you could tell they lose track of what they're saying. So they just go back to, you just got to be supportive to the fighters. Like, no, I don't have to be anything. I don't even have to be a boxing fan. Right? I could.
Why is Recognized attacking all these homosexuals, man?
I don't know. I don't know how this happened.
What?
Oh, and Bucho just
Bucho,
asked that question and then
brother?
he leaves. Yeah, Bucho just asked that question and then he leaves. He just drops that bomb on there. Like, yeah, take it away, Recognize.
Bucho just come by and say goodbye.
Yeah.
Just gave a drive-by mic drop.
No, but it's true. It's true. Not about Recognize attracting gay guys, but about the why do we, like when people say, well, you have to support a fighter. If the guy, I'll go back to Regan now as an example of somebody that we really crapped on this summer. That guy deserved all the criticism that came his way. When you're running around, trying not to engage, clinching, and it's not the first time you have done it, guess what? You do not deserve respect. People are paying to watch you fight. People aren't getting paid millions of dollars per year like some of these guys on TV do. All we ask is that they give it an honest effort. So for that crowd, that contingent of people that go, well, you have to respect fighters because they get in the ring and they're the one taking the risks. Yeah, and we're shelling money for it too. It goes both ways, man. It's not just people are spending hard-earned money to watch these guys fight and giving an honest effort. Now, if Rigondeaux wants to fight that way, for example, fine, but he shouldn't be on TV then. That's for sure. Let him fight in non-televised cars where he's getting paid $10,000 per fight because that's what he deserves. It's not about talent; it's about effort. That's what the pay should go to. That's what's commensurate with the pay. The amount of effort you put in there. Some guys, they're not that skilled, but guess what? People like to watch them fight because they give it all, and boom, these guys get paydays and they get TV dates. It's not about talent. This ain't baseball, basketball, where if you're the most talented, you get paid the most. There's a completely different type of sport, boxing. So let's just put it that way, man.
Very subjective.
Exactly. Very allegorical, like they said in The Sopranos. But what was I going to say? Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I guess that's it. That's all we've got here. We talked about Donaire, Lomachenko. Next week, we've got Marcus Brown versus Beterbiev. Hopefully that fight doesn't get canceled at the last minute. Something, knock on wood. Knocking on wood right there. And then that's the end of the year. The Golovkin and Yoka fights were canceled. Well, we get Inoue fighting on December in 2 days, but I mean, it's against some Thai guy who looks tough and everything, but again, it's the type of guys that Inoue should eat up, unless, of course, the year of the upset continues. Then we've got, like I said, Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown. That's taking place right here in Montreal. Madrimov versus Michel Soro. That's another one. Guys, watch that fight. That's going to be an interesting one. Madrimov versus Soro. That's on December the 17th from Uzbekistan via the zone. Then you got Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. That boring fight. A rematch of that boring fight.
Hey, they're fighting again.
They're rematch? Wow, I didn't even know that.
They're fighting again?
Yeah, because Tyson, I mean, what's his name? That Fury kid, the Tyson Fury's brother, was supposed to fight him, but then he got injured, so Woodley stepped in. Yeah.
He got injured? Are you serious? Son of a bitch. I was. Hey, listen, did you want to...
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like somebody got a little scared at the last moment. Remember, his big brother told him, like, you lose this fight, bro, I'm pulling you out, in other words.
Kicking out of destroyed his career, dude. After all the shit he said, you know what I mean?
Can you imagine, your big brother is like 6'9". You're not no pushover, but you're not 6'9", right? You're not even close to it. And he tells you, look, I know we're playing and everybody's having fun, but if you lose this fight, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. Like, I'm just going to straight up, I'm serious. Like, you cannot lose to this fucking, Instagram or YouTuber. You can't lose to this guy.
So he destroyed his career.
Yeah. And not for nothing, man. Not for nothing, but that somebody put a bunch of tweets that Fury had, both Furies had tweeted out there, and it said they were saying like, Huey Fury, or no, what's his name? That Fury kid. He could beat
Tommy Fury.
Tommy Fury, thank you.
Fury, yeah.
Tommy could beat him injured with one hand, one arm, blah blah blah, and then he pulls out because of an injury. So it's not like he got egg on his face now for tweeting all that.
Oh, well,
by the way,
BDA, I wanted to. I just wanted to say. Remember, I've said it a bunch of times. Right, we talk about the pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Espinoza responded to me yesterday on Twitter.
Yeah.
Did you want to? I think I posted it. His tweet. I mean, let's.
Well, can I?
That
can
was
I
nice
say,
to him. Yeah. Okay.
Can
What's
I just
that,
say two things? Yes, two things before we get there. Thank you for reminding me of that because I was fucking forgetting. Real quick, Julio Ochoa with the super chat. They gave a super chat while we were talking to Fighting Spirit, and he said he said hang up on that mighty con. Oh, come on, man. That's not nice, man. But shout out to Julio Ochoa for his contribution with the super chat. And before we get to that. He's Macedoni, like you said, Macedoni. Let's go to real quick before we. Shit! I hung up on somebody. Fuck, sorry. Whoever I hung up on accidentally, please call back. All right. So yeah, Jimmy. So you posted. You said you had reliable information about the number of pay-per-view buys that Tank Davis versus Cruz did, and you said that it was about 100,000. So for people that don't know, Steven just laying out the groundwork for it. Steven Espinosa tweeted back to Jimmy and he said, LOL, the digital buys did almost as much as that. Don't believe something akin to that, like don't believe what people say.
Don't believe your source, yeah.
Right.
Now remember, Steve Kim on the show, right, said he heard they were inflating these numbers by upwards of 40%. Now, Steve would have talked to Jim Boone. He would have talked to many people, guys who've been in this game for a long time, who have the connections, know these providers, right? And there's other ways to try. Okay, like there's a whole bunch of other things. So like Dan Raphael tweeted out, will you be buying this fight? I think 93% out of 10,000 was no. Like, so it was a handful of people said they were going to buy this fight. So unless they have a completely different targeted audience that are buying these. So anyway, so I was told that the thing was going to be lucky to do 100. So I said it wasn't even at 100 yet, right? So again, that, so people tagged in Steve Espinosa. It became a thing. This fucking thing got 90 retweets and quotes and just people. But I got, dude, for saying, I'm hearing from a reputable source, Davis Cruz sold under 100,000 pay-per-views. Curious to see how many Mayweather / Heyman tells Coppinger to tweet out. I'm going with 200, 225, LOL, right? Now, does any part of that sound race-based to you? Racially based to you?
No.
I got attacked. Dude, I hate black fighters. Dude, just off my Twitter feed. They didn't know from the show. Oh, well, they might have. I don't know. They didn't bring it up. But it was the most disgusting day on Twitter. Dude, I came so close to deactivating my page. I'm like, this is fucking insane. Because I just repeated that. But just to go to show you, like, instead of saying, ask me why that's being even said, then I could have offered up, well, just look around, look at all these different indicators that tells you this thing isn't selling. And on top of that, I can't say it enough. And if Heyman, I mean, Bob Arum was doing what Heyman's doing. Imagine just suddenly told the providers, no, we'll release the numbers from now on, and then leaked them through a fucking ex-employee. Do you think people would say, oh yeah, no, I believe those are the numbers they're doing? So you got to ask yourself, why did they do that? So basically when I was told, when Steve Espinoza said, oh, we did almost that in electronic buys or whatever he said, I said, okay, Steve, I said, I respect you, you're a boxing guy, and he is still giving us boxing, that's his call. I said, let me ask you, then why did you stop tweeting out the numbers? No, then why don't you tweet out the numbers then, Steve? I just put it, point blank, then tweet out the numbers. And fucking the best part is the word salad. It's absolutely, think of, so that's the question, right? He knows, why wouldn't you tweet out the numbers? Okay, here it is. Same reason other networks don't share all their business info. Streamers almost never share their viewership numbers. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? And promoters really, right? Really, what does that have to do with anything? Streamers almost never share their viewership numbers? Come on. And then almost never. But it's like beyond a strawman argument, because we're not talking about streamers, and they do the streams like DAZN. They've released their numbers regularly. But also, then he goes on to say, and promoters really share full fighter pay. Think about that. Promoters really, you know why? Because he's talking about what he knows, Showtime. Because what they're doing is deferring money. We all know that. I mean, he's talking to me, A, like I'm a fucking moron, and B, and then he said, and then not all businesses, so here's the final fucking straw in the strawman argument, not all business results are meant for public disclosure, particularly when it relates to individual pay. Again, we're talking about, why did you, from years before you even got in the door, Steve, you promptly tweeted out your pay-per-view numbers. You couldn't stop tweeting out about Mayweather-Pacquiao numbers. Suddenly you stop. Instead of addressing why he stopped and the reasoning behind that, he comes up, well, the same networks don't share. And then the end with the whole fucking public disclosure, especially individuals' pay. The fuck does that have to see what I'm saying? Because he can't say the truth. The truth is Al Heyman doesn't want us to release them. Just him even phrasing that, what people would have said, but why? Why wouldn't Al want you? Because he's still releasing numbers, right? They're just not being released through a number place that can be substantiated. Because again, if Showtime tweets it out and says it did 250,000, but then they pay taxes on 93,000, that's not good. It could cost Steve his job if people checked or whatever it wouldn't work out well. So when you do that, and then because it just doesn't sound right? How do you make that sound good? That Al Heyman told us suddenly not to do it anymore. He's going to take care of it, and has every so again, I was so disappointed that that's the fucking bullshit answer he gave me. I've kind of found it disrespectful. Like, to give me it would have been better to say, listen, that's because of the new models Al wanted to go with, and this is his fucking boxing outfit. I'm just a provider. That would have been at least honest to a point. To come back at me with that fucking extra large order of word salad. I mean, I read it here. Is that not ridiculous? What do you think, guys?
I mean, the guy's a lawyer, so obviously he's going to try to give you a non-answer and give you 3-4 things that you have to then disprove, like you just did, though. But again, he's a lawyer, and here's the thing that I don't understand. He says it did almost that much in digital buys, right? Almost that much. So let's say it did 100,000 pay-per-views and 90,000 in digital buys. That's still 190,000. Is that even enough to break even?
With the money they're paying, yes, that's the key. He's not paying these fighters. She's paying him $1 million guaranteed. That's the reason why it's financially feasible. It's actually, he's making, it really comes down to Floyd trying to fucking squeeze every dollar he can out of his one fighter. And for that, he's protecting the old like it's the fucking antidote, and he's fucking putting everything behind a paywall. Not caring about this kid's legacy at all, which is getting trashed daily on fucking Twitter, which is always getting to him too. Again, it's the non-transparency. Again, if no numbers came out at all, that'd be a different story. But 4, 5, 6 days later, it's always cop, and then that becomes gospel. It's just ridiculous, and he's even contradicting himself. Like he said, Santa Cruz Davis did 225,000, and then when Barrios happened, he said Barrios and Davis did even better than Santa Cruz at 215. So he fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like, no, so how could that be? So which one are you lying about then? But again, it's just all, I can't stand that shit. And I'm just so disappointed that was the answer he gave me.
Yeah, well,
like,
listen,
it was like,
when people come at you, when people come at you too, like, oh, you're racist, don't even try to defend yourself about that. Just go with the flow and fucking stay in your frame of mind. Because that's what these people want. They expect you as a white guy to get all flummoxed. But I'm not racist. Fuck it. See, that's one of the privileges of
you
being
want to know what my
Mexican.
answer was to that dude who really
What was
pushed it? I said, first off, I could give a flying fist fuck what you or anyone else thinks of me. What thinks, if I'm a race, like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I told him, I also said, call the show, which he didn't respond. I said, but if you want to talk about it on the show, you want to, make your fucking point. We could have done that during whatever the battles you have, but he didn't respond.
Yeah, they're not
But
going
it
to
was it was very bizarre that it was that many people. And also, we're kind of, like Lazy Left, I guess he's on YouTube. Like, he retweeted that shit too. So there was people that I know of, don't follow me, but on YouTube, who were quick to retweet that, like that it was a race angle that I had.
Oh, well,
I thought that was kind of fucking bizarre.
It's played out at this point. Everyone's a racist, apparently. That's what they always say. And listen, as a Mexican, as a Japanese Mexican, who's got a little Jewish inside of him too, I can pretty much say what I want. And if you don't like it, tough luck. That's what I tell these people.
You got a nice mixture there, my friend.
Absolutely, man. It helps me out, man, with the IQ and all that. But I wanted to say too, yeah, Jimmy, don't fucking sweat it. I mean, you asked the hard question, and this guy had to look. If they broke even, okay, fine. But
be like me, Jimmy. I say I am after the insult. They'd be like, "Oh, you're a racist," and I'd be like, "I am." Now, what does that have to do with my point?
Exactly. Yeah, break down the point. Don't attack the person's character.
Break down the point. Yeah.
And also,
I'm sorry, but you know what it was, dude? Because Haymanites did a tweet with Jussie Smollett carrying his prison shit, like with that crying face, and it was a racist inside the jail cell, right? So I retweeted that under that basis, and this is how he wrote it. He retweeted it like it was, and then that's the best part. Not only did he just, because I retweeted, but then he added they had their own story. He retweeted it like it was a win for the team, like it was a win for him, a win for the team. Like, what the so you see what I'm saying? So you're dick riding for Jussie Smollett?
There you go. Yeah. That's a thing. That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to get at too with the whole the people that hate Lomachenko. It's everyone says that they want a guy that fights everybody, doesn't complain, blah blah blah. But then when you get one in Lomachenko, you don't like him because he doesn't look like you. If Lomachenko looked like a lot of these other people, then they would root for him. And that's the main point is these people want to root for a guy like Jussie Smollett. Not because he's a good person, which he's not. He's an ass who's already thrown his own family members under the bus in the past so that they could actually take years for him. And now he's trying to dupe the system and doing, wasting valuable city resources to make a hoax because he wanted to get more airtime on TV. But that's the guy they got to support. Why? Because they got that prison mentality that they gotta, we gotta support each other no matter what happens. You ain't in prison anymore. You're in the fucking here in the society. Act like a person, man. Jeez Louise, these people are insane. Rooting for Jussie Smollett. Now I've heard it all. Screw Jussie Smollett.
He doesn't even like the people that support him.
Exactly.
Like the people that support him, he don't even like those people. He's like, get the fuck away from me. Bro.
Imagine you had to live in a village with Jussie Smollett. You would have to either kick him out or do something drastic to him because you cannot be with people like that. They're gonna stab you in the back. They're gonna want to do the least work and they're gonna want to take the most resources. So these people are saying, "Well, we gotta stick together because of race." Yeah, baby, race. Man, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's the most primitive thing I've heard.
You gotta tell him, I'll hang you for real.
Oh wait,
dude,
a minute.
you guys got to see another thing too. Fucking that kid Ego, right? Hamanites respond to Mike Montero, I think it is. Go look. It's a 1-minute video because he Mike posed the same question you do all the time, BDA and Bucho. Like, what is it? Why? When he does these good things. There's a certain group of writers. He said this time who just hate on this kid no matter what he does.
Huh.
Looking for I can't put it up because it's a 1-minute video. Right. But dude, it's fucking hilarious. Man, I wish I fucking had that kid's he just put shit together. I think it's fucking hilarious. But
yeah, I'll check it out, man.
I guess he's almost done too. He told me he's quitting too. Twitter. He said he was getting off it. So
who Haymanites?
Yeah, he said he's fucking in a DM. He's like, dude, I'm like a fucking twat here away from bouncing this shit, but good.
Nah, that's what they want, man. Tell them to stick around.
No, that's what I said to him, dude. I said the same thing. Yeah, dude, don't let him get to you. Because it was the same thing. He was tweeting with some dude, and out of nowhere, they tweeted out that white people are genetically weaker than black people. Like, that had anything to do with the conversation about Davis, I think they were talking about. And he said, so fucking Haymanites hit him back with some smoke. So, you know what I mean? Said some fucking, and talked about, gave him some smoke right back. The next tweet, he snapshot a picture of fucking Haymanite's tweet, and then, so he snapshotted it and then put above it, Haymanites, this fucking dude says black people have no culture. We didn't have mathematics. Like, none of that was said. To get black people to come after him. It's it's so sick.
They're living in a completely different world of drama. And that's what they like. They like that Twitter drama. Real quick, let's go to a phone call here. Somebody's been waiting. And then I want to get back to that, Jimmy. 929, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
BDA panelists, how are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay, man. You have to excuse me right now. I'm outside, but I had to call in, man, about what's been going on lately, as far as PBC and their cohorts, losing their shit about pay-per-view numbers. And I gotta say, man, it's been a long time coming. It felt like fucking 3 years that I've waited for fights under their banner, But since they're not delivering, I guess they have to say goodbye to their money, I don't feel an little bit of sympathy, because they've teased us for years. We could have had a welterweight tournament, back in 2017 and 16, but no, fighters wanted to duck Errol Spence, and even Errol Spence didn't want to fight Crawford at the time, because he said it, in a Boxing Social article like 3 years ago, is that he didn't want him to go to the IBF route. No, he told him to get a belt. Just that, strictly get a belt. So he got a belt, and what happened? He shut the fuck up. And he said nothing about it except, he was all about political shit. Like, he's an ESPN fighter. I'm a Fox Sports fighter, whatever the fuck. But all that is cap. What Steven Espinosa, is pretty much telling you is that I cannot tell you the numbers because I'm not confident that the numbers are good. That's just simply it.
I mean, yeah, man. You always talk about numbers and all that. It's if they broke even, they broke even. Good for them with Tank Davis. But that means that they were only relying on 190,000 pay-per-view buys. He's not generating.
I was going to say, but Steve would know the actual number because Showtime was the provider. So they would know by the end of the night. They know roughly how many they sold within, I guarantee, 10, 20,000. They would have known by the end of the fight. And again, that's the reason why I believe Mayweather lost his shit. Remember, at the end of the fight, out of nowhere, just attacked Canelo? Why would that be? His fighter just won, right?
Jimmy, it was just before the fight. It was just before the fight that he put out like a statement. It's like, yo, don't steal our pay-per-view. Whenever you ever hear Floyd ever like lose his shit about the pay-per-view numbers like going down, never. It was only when he had to promote Tank. Was their only fighter that they have. Hey, Lomachenko could have been his Golovkin, but in what terms? In what way is he compared to Canelo? He's not. They are not the same.
Well, there you go, man. I mean, the best should fight the best. That's it. All this haggling over pay-per-view numbers. These people are insane. They just want to get the most out of the pie when it comes to negotiations. By the way, listen. Anything else?
The pay-per-view market tapped out like 6 years ago with the Mayweather Pacquiao. It hasn't been the same since.
They're living in another.
You're 100% right.
Well, listen, Virtuoso, we got to move on.
And there are platforms that are giving you value for dollar like ESPN Plus and The Zone. So you got to bargain with
exactly.
Well, listen, Virtuoso, thank you for your call. We got to move on, but thank you for calling. Catch you in the next one, all right, man?
Well, BDA is right. Like, people on Twitter fucking. I mean, you got these motherfuckers on Twitter celebrating or champion to pay $80 to watch two scrubs or two guys who aren't even fighting for a belt. Like, that's the platform to be. That tells me right there. Actually, Ring IQ did a good thing. He started going at these motherfuckers with show me your receipt, your electronic receipt that you bought the pay-per-view, and you never hear from them. So all these dudes are right to fucking pay-per-view's the way to go. Fuck streaming or the app. Like one of those guys, attacked me because of Davis. What did he? It was a good one. It was yeah, because that's how I put it too. Like I even mentioned Loma, but yeah, because Lomachenko's fighting somebody, is in a fight that nobody cares about on an app. Well, fucking Davis is crushing it on pay-per-views. Now, just really sit back and let that sink in and realize how out of touch, like just disconnected that dude is with the reality of the situation. Never mind to say nobody was interested in the Lomachenko fight, and it was on an app. Like, what do you watch, Bunka? An app. You know what I mean? Like, it's oh man. Anyway,
it's like the people that used to say
if
back in the
PBC was
day.
doing the app, brother, they would be fucking having apps tattooed on their chest.
Exactly. It's like the people that used to say, it's you write for a website, in boxing writers, you write, and now everything's on the web. So it's people should be careful about what they disparage before they even know the full facts about the reach that they can have. And also, No,
I was going to say, what's a good thing about time? As time goes on, you get to see things happen. In the same crowd that's still dick riding Al Heyman were the same motherfuckers with the hashtag free boxing for all. Remember? That was the reason why they would come after Heyman. Arum, everybody. That was their thing. Free boxing for all. There was the big hashtag. The Diggs brothers. They were just going at everybody with that shit. And next thing you know, in a one false swoop, it went to the most expensive boxing promotion to ever follow. And they still like nothing. Like that was a slight change in their programming. You know what I mean? They went completely full circle. The whole reason he got that $1 billion is because he went in with Mike Hiller's attorney, telling the guys that pay-per-view is a dead platform. You know what I mean? It's archaic and the theft is ridiculous. That's how he was able to secure the money, because he was going to bring it back to free TV. And for them to say, okay, well, now I don't have anybody, so now everything's on pay-per-view. And the same people dick ride. It's so disingenuous and I can't even say the word right now. I'm going on too long. But you know what I'm saying, brother.
Listen, man, these people, I'm already seeing some of this on this Twitter thing where they're going, Haney should fight Kambosos. Because Kambosos said he'd rather fight Lomachenko, he's a bigger challenge, or something akin to that, he said. And there's already people saying he's avoiding Devin Haney, he don't want that undisputed. And I'm thinking, man, who's the better fighter, Lomachenko or Haney? Who cares about the belts? It's not, he didn't even really get, people have talked about this ad nauseum, about the belt, that email belt. It's not a real belt, he's not a real champ. The two best lightweights right now, if you really want to get right down to it, would be Lomachenko and Kambosos, and then the winner then would fight Haney. That's the way it should be. It should be Haney, Kambosos. Lomachenko's already put on two good performances since he lost to Lopez. And even that Lopez loss was a very close fight, very competitive. And he's got a valid excuse, just like Lopez apparently has a valid excuse about being incapacitated before the fight. So, fuck it, man. Haney is not as good as Lomachenko. So he shouldn't be fast-tracked to a Kambosos fight. If Kambosos wants to fight Lomachenko, that's a bigger challenge, guaranteed. Real quick, let's go to... Yes, yeah.
No, I was going to say, Kambosos had to fight Teofimo Lopez to win all his straps. Haney had to fight traffic to go to the post office to pick his up.
Yeah, you'd say.
You know what I mean, dude?
By the way, somebody's asking.
I steal that from somebody, but yeah, that's awesome.
Somebody's asking in the chat, what's Jimmy's Twitter? That's it's Jimmy DeMarino at. Oh shit! Hold on. Let me.
Jimmy at JIMI. Then D Marino. So I think by the time you get to JIMID, it's going to take you right to me. There's not too many guineas who spell the name JIMI.
Yeah, and you'll see the same picture he's got here. All right, real quick, let's go to a phone call here. Somebody's been waiting. Let's go to 226. You're on the air. 226. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hi fellas. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys having me on. What's the question you'd like to ask Mr. BDA?
There's too many questions to ask.
We have to go. The show's about to end. Thanks for calling in, Sam.
What's so funny? BDA, what's the question?
Well, I got so many questions. I don't know which one to pick. But how about the most important question is how real are you?
Hold on. BDA, first of all, can I just
Oh my God, then he stops him
that
off.
fruitcake recognize trying to run his show? All right? Shut up and let me answer the question, you moron. Go ahead, Mr. BDA. I apologize. Go
We
ahead.
got to go, buddy.
I was going to ask you,
Slug. I don't know why that guy's talking for you. You shut the fuck up and let BDA ask the question.
First time caller. How real are you? And can people handle how real you are?
Yes, Luca Brasi. That's my name, Luca Brasi.
That's
all
right.
right, what's the question?
I just asked the question. How real are you? And can people
broccoli?
Well, I'm 100% real. Listen, I'm more real than Iron Steel. I am like Iron Mike. All right? Does that answer the question?
Pretty much.
Come on. I see guys look at me, they look the other way. All right? Does that answer your question? That's how real I am. Come on.
Great answers.
I mean, they don't want to turn into sand. I wouldn't blame them.
Oh.
All right. You stop talking, Mr. Queens guy. You stop talking. Go ahead, BD, again. What's the next question?
Well, Luca Braza, I was going to ask him, did you really kill your fucking girlfriend and 2-year-old daughter?
Oh.
Because Luca Braza, the actor who played that dude, was actually a real mobster in real life.
I don't even know where you're getting that question from, all right? And why are you on here trying to, talk about police matters? Please, guys, I'm talking about boxing. That's what I called. I thought you had boxing questions. What is all these generic questions I get all the time, all right?
All right.
What's this,
Slugger, what do you know about boxing?
I know more than you do, Recognize. Come on, let's ask the questions.
He knows more than you,
so
Recognize.
explain.
Well, listen, Slugger, I got to ask you, man, if there's too many questions to ask, I'm actually a little bewildered. I don't know what to ask you because I don't want to get you mad. I don't want to disrespect you with stupid questions. I would have to really think about it, and so you call back next time, and I get you with some real good ones.
Yeah, call back in 2 hours from now.
All right, well, look, video, I'll make it easy for you. You got the title on the video called "Is Everybody Scared of Lomachenko?" and all that shit, because it looks like you guys are taking this as a comedy joke when I'm trying to be serious.
Absolutely,
all right?
yeah.
I'm all about business. You guys are clowning around. Clearly, you guys are the comedians here and not me. All right? Now, let's get to boxing. Let's stay professional. Lomachenko, yes, he is the man.
90
at 135, as long as pound for pound and skills go. But the actual man, based off status, is a kangaroo guy, Kambosos, because he's got the titles, right?
Yeah.
And then the pillow-fisted guy, he's got one of the titles. He's holding up the division hostage right now. The guy Haney, whatever his name is, right? So this is what I'm trying to get to.
He knows more about us, but he doesn't know the
kangaroo,
names.
60 seconds.
You got 60 seconds, Slugger Sam. Make him count. You got 60 seconds. Make him count, man.
Okay. All right. So this one needs to happen. Kangaroo Kambosos needs to fight Haney, and the winner of that fights. Man, shut up and let me talk. Shut up. Try to talk over me.
Talking to yourself, buddy. And nobody's talking.
Right?
Go ahead.
Nobody said nothing.
Haney fights Kangaroo. You're still talking. Kangaroo Kambosos fights Devin Haney. The winner of that gives Lomachenko a shot at the undisputed title. And the loser of that fight with Haney and Kambosos, I think, should fight that pretty girl, Ryan Garcia.
No.
And then we'll finally figure out where Ryan Garcia stands. You know what I mean?
Right.
And listen, I've told you guys this many times. I'll tell you again, if I got to come back on here to fucking straighten up the whole panel and show you guys who's the real boss, I will. Show some fucking respect when I call. All right, and call me by my name.
Brother. We gotta go.
Call me sir.
Time's up.
You know, you don't fucking disrespect.
All right. Have a nice Christmas, dude.
There's two airports to get to your town.
Slugger. You're on the. Hold on, Slugger. We got Kevin from Chicago on the line too. Kevin, go ahead.
Nah, you need to hang up on Scuba Steve first, then I'll go.
On who?
Scuba Steve.
Slugger Sam, whatever the
Kevin from Chicago, are you from the north side or the south side? And be honest, don't lie about it. Are you from the north or the south? Because I highly doubt you're from Chicago, the lying scumbag. You're not from the Chi. You claim to be from the Chi. You're from one of those other fucking fake counties around Chicago. Don't lie. Don't come out here lying to us. You're lying scumbag.
Real nigger shit.
What the fuck you call me, you scumbag piece of shit? I wish you would call me that to my face. I wish you would call me that to my face. You'll see how quick I make work out of you, you scumbag. Calling me Scuba Steve, you piece of shit. Come down here and call me that. Come down here and call me that.
Kevin,
You're
do you think...
You're nothing less than a false loony is what you are.
Let's get civil. Real quick. Scuba Steve, I like his matchmaking. Yeah, that was a good idea. You guys a good idea. Maybe you could replace Espinoza as the head of Showtime, get that shit squared away. But as far as Espinoza goes, I just went and looked at his Twitter after Jimmy mentioned it, and this dude's retweeting shit-lived CNN reporters. He's talking about he retweeted a CNN reporter talking about the fascist takeover of America by Republican politicians. This dude's a full-blown shit-lib, and it's just funny. Espinoza, I'm not surprised, but damn, you think someone
that explains the fucking word salad right there, brother.
Of course you go, man. Of course you follow a cupcake. It's what you do best. You follow all the cupcakes on Twitter. That's what you do best. You fake Kevin guy. It's what you do best.
Slugger, I gotta ask you.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Slugger.
Men talk. Hang up on Scuba Steve.
But hold on, Slugger. Slugger, which way do you lean politically, Slugger?
I'm more on the conservative side. What's it to you, BDA? I'm just asking you a question. I'm just asking questions. You're getting fresh with me. Fucking fanny pack.
I'm asking questions. I'm asking questions. You told me to ask you questions. You told me to ask you questions. Now I ask you a question. You get all fresh with me. What's the matter with you?
Yeah, you lean towards the jerk side.
I didn't mean nothing by it, BDA. I didn't mean nothing by it.
Get your act together. That's all I'm going to say. Get your act together. Now,
you got a little fresh. You got a little fresh.
Let me ask Kevin this. Kevin, I know you're an MMA fan. Apparently, last night there were a lot of upsets in the UFC. How big was that upset with that Amanda Nunes girl that apparently got choked out?
I don't watch women's MMA. I don't watch women's combat. So
good for you.
I could give two shits, honestly.
Good for you,
man. Slow down. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You know what? You finally said something I agree with, Kevin. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, but as far as,
women shouldn't even be in sports at all. They shouldn't even be in any sports.
Yeah, I was tuning in and out of the UFC event. There's a couple good fights. The funny one was Cody Garbrandt getting knocked out.
Again?
This dude, he was supposed to be the hot shot, big UFC next big star. This dude he won the title, just got knocked out. The UFC's not doing him any favors. He's got one advantage on most UFC fighters. He's got good boxing, and they keep putting him in there with people that have good boxing. Like you're supposed to take advantage of his
Kevin? Is that the guy?
but you're
Kevin, is that the guy with the tattoo on his neck? Cody.
Yeah.
Is that the guy with the tattoo?
Cody Meathead.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
he's
all right.
Complete meathead. But hey, let's talk about boxing. This is a boxing show, so let's keep it boxing. Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko. This dude Espinoza retweeting boxing ego. So that's where you know where he stands. He said, well, Devin Haney and Tank Davis, they're this and that. You're criticizing them, but when it comes to Lomachenko, you don't want to criticize Lomachenko. He didn't get a knockout. Like he's trying to take that angle. Like, you're going to criticize them, but you're not. Oh, you know what they're doing. You know what he's doing. He's trying to use the race angle. Lomachenko went in there and dominated from start to finish. Got in the pocket, made it exciting, and they're trying to compare this shit fight to Tank Davis and Devin Haney. When Lomachenko's fighting a world champion, this dude's fighting a little weight class guys. Just a joke. Lomachenko comes in there and breaks people's brains because they're not using this dude, this blue-eyed European, coming in here, setting the boxing world on fire, getting all this attention, and they just can't stand it. It's like, what's a good example? It's like Luka Doncic in the NBA. They can't stand it when this dude's balling. What that dude say? Bitch ass white boy. And all these NBA players, they hate it. They can't stand it because they see it's
Luka.
predominantly dominated by African Americans. And when it comes in here and they see this white boy, that white boy, they just can't stand it. They just can't stand it. And that's what they're doing. They're trying to come up every excuse in the book of why, who, when, and where. But it's just not working. Everybody can see through it. They see the eyes don't lie. What Lomachenko does in there is like nothing we've ever seen. He dances on these dudes. He carrot dances on them. He breaks them down spiritually, emotionally.
Okay, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay.
Big ass dude he went in there with.
All right. Well, listen. We have to move on here because we're almost done with the show. We're almost out of the show, rather. But shout out to Kevin and shout out to Slugger Sam. First-time caller. Thank you for calling in, fellas. Really appreciate it. Call back next time.
Luca Brasi. I told you my name is Luca Brasi. Get it fucking right. And Kevin, I agree with everything you said about the Matrix. You know, he's the man. All right? And the other guys that hate us. Hey, don't listen. Don't fucking overtalk me, all right? Don't you ever fucking talk me. I swear to God, Kevin, I'll set my foot up your ass. Don't you do it.
Oh, my God.
Kambosos.
Glad I tuned in.
Kambosos just won his world title. Huge win. And now he's got to go in there and get beat
Kangaroo
down by
Kambosos. Fuck that kangaroo having motherfucker. He's got a pet kangaroo for a living. I don't care about him. He got the belts off Teofimo, who must have been doing cocaine that fucking night. But nobody touches Lomachenko. Alexander Usyk, the Ukraine runs boxing right now.
All right.
It runs boxing.
All right.
And
Take it easy, fellas.
You guys pray to the Ukraine.
Thank you for your call, fellas. Catch you in the next one. Take it easy. Have yourself a good Sunday.
Yeah, get lost.
All right, take care, fellas.
Take it easy, Kevin. Thank you for calling in.
Brother.
Yeah, one love, yeah.
One love.
All right. They actually made me want to change my mind about Lomachenko. I don't think he's the best anymore. No, I'm kidding. All right, man, great calls. The phone lines are closed. We ran out of time there, the full 2 hours. Entertaining, to say the least, right, fellas? I mean, Kevin and Slugger.
It was fun until that jerk-off came on. What was his name?
Slugger Bum? Slugger Sam.
Slugger Sammy.
Samantha. Come on, man. All right, listen, we were about to go, fellas, but before we got these phone calls, but when I see we got Gonzalo and Chief dropping by. Gonzalo, you came in here first, man. You want to say something before we call it quits?
Hey, how's it going, Mr. PDA?
Good, man. How are you? You feel okay? Good. Yes.
I got something to say. I'm a little. I thought the Magasayo fight versus Russell was yesterday. That was my mistake. I was really looking forward to that fight. Looking forward to that. The fight. Maybe next time. That's gonna be a good scrap. Okay, we got something to look forward to. But the fights last night, hey, it's okay. It's a good night of boxing, man. I got my fix. I'm just a little disappointed that Lomachenko didn't put him away in the 7th, because if you go back and watch my comment, I said Lomachenko inside of 7. I didn't say the 7th were inside the 7, but he let him off the hook. And he should have probably just taken him out, because the longer the fight went, the more damage he was going to put on him anyways. The more of a beating. You see what I'm saying, BD?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Lomachenko's not going to take you out with one punch. So
he gave him 5. I was going to say, gave him 5 extra seconds that he could have jumped on him, and you know as well as I, that's an eternity.
Oh yeah, and Jimmy, but then he let him off the hook. Then he gave him another 5 rounds to survive. At the same time that I'm saying that, he put more beating on him for 5 more rounds. Roger.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right. He would have been actually better if he would have concussed him once, like knock him out, and then that's it. But the amount of shots he was taking, even though he was blocking them, they're still shaking his head. You're absolutely right.
I almost think he did that to the. Sorry, brother.
Hey, Jimmy, in the future, don't play with your food, because he's a great talent, and maybe if he really was like that, and he said, okay, I'm not gonna put him out now. But in the end of the day, I think he wanted the knockout, because who doesn't want the knockout? Because percentile-wise, he's only fought like 15 times, and that greatly changes your your percentage based on the fights that you fought. So the knockout would have been better for his record in his career, considering he lost twice. The more knockouts, the better it looks percentile-wise on your record.
That's a good point.
But you know, you don't let a lion killer like Commey off the hook. Because remember, Commey came back in the 11th round. He had a good round.
Yeah.
I think he won that round.
He did, man. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He shouldn't have played with him. And he was still strong after the knockdown. At 2 rounds afterwards, he was throwing hard body shots, and you could tell Lomachenko was having to bide his time to try to break him down. So that's the negative from last night for Lomachenko. That's the negative from Lomachenko last night. He should have gone for the kill. Do you think it was a little bit arrogant there, Gonzalo? Of like, hey, stop the fight, otherwise it's going to be worse. It's like, no, maybe it will be, maybe it won't be, but you got to try and finish him.
Well, I don't doubt that he kind of liked Commey because he's what's the word? Affable. He's a likable guy, right, BD? But if that were what's his name? Teofimo, he probably would have wanted to kill him. But no, he let him off the hook. You don't do that, friend or foe, in the boxing fight.
Exactly.
And he's experienced enough to know that. I'm not the one to talk because he's a fighter. He's fought 400 times in the amateurs, a professional world champion. But maybe he could learn something there because he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, he shouldn't have, man.
He let his emotions get in the way.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Recognize for his contribution with the super chat. No message, but Recognize, thank you very much, man. Really appreciate it. It's
not a problem. Not a problem.
Christmas present.
I'm in the giving spirit today.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I don't know if it's payoff money to never have Slugger Sam call in again, but
yeah, actually, I was checking DMs.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, then, man. We also got Chief dropping by. Chief, are you there? Did you catch the fights or?
I did. I actually watched everything all the way through this time. I didn't have to catch highlights. So
interesting.
But it was actually on regular TV, so I could see it. So
that's true, yeah.
No, it was an awesome fight in certain ways. I was highly disappointed that he didn't stay going to the body because the body it wouldn't have been hard to finish him. I wouldn't even be surprised if Commey would have ended up being stopped on the stool had he stayed to the body. Because when he was hitting to the body, he was moving him, he was bending him over. For the fact we say that Loma doesn't hit that hard at lightweight, he was making, even when Commey was blocking those shots, he's making his braids fly all over the place, even from blocked shots. He was total control. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody out there in the world had it 120 to 108, or would have been 107 because of the knockdown. I mean, if you think he won the 11th round, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't think he won it enough to where anyone couldn't have scored that fight a complete shutout. Because I never saw Commey fully take control of a round. If he did take control, it's because Loma let him and backed up.
That's right.
I mean, I don't disagree with you completely, Gonzalo. He might have won the 11th round, but if he did, it was because Loma just kind of backed up and let him do what he wanted to do, and he still blocked the shots and still protected himself at all times. And
I'm giving him extra credit. The only thing I was saying, and I think PDA concurs, you don't let a dude off the hook who's got a good straight right hand. He's got a good straight right hand, right?
Well, especially as a lefty.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point, Chief. Go ahead.
A lefty. That's the one punch that is going to land completely clean is the right hand. So you don't want to.
That's the lion killer.
Yep.
That's the lion killer.
Yep. Well, because that's the jab from the other stance.
Yeah.
So little boxing breakdown that Gonzalez.
Let me ask you something. Is the straight left hand an old adage that's not really that people make it out more that it needs to be? Was the straight right hand an old adage to a lefty?
Okay, so I'm about to get to this, and once I explain, I think you're about to concur with me completely. When the straight left works against a righty because the way the stances work when you're standing mano a mano, meaning two right-handers, the jab is what pierces the guard. Once you switch, the left hand still pierces, but now that's the power hand. So from the right-hand stance, the left hand is what always gets through the guard. Whether it's just from the southpaw stance, again, it's from the back foot, the power shot. So and everything fits exactly the exact opposite way.
Love the saying, mano a mano, reminds me of an old Western movie.
But the right jab is actually what pierces the lefty's guard. So So when
unless you're a fighter is completely circling away from the right hand, right?
Well, you can. There's using your footwork, and that's where it comes into all the video play that we talk about. Whoever wins the foot battle of having their lead foot on the outside. But when it comes time to just standing straight in front of each other, if it's a lefty and a lefty, the right jab's going to be coming through. You switch stances to a left-handed position. The straight right is going to get through.
You know, that's why I was a little surprised that Commey went the distance, because his legs were never up to par to Lomachenko's footwork. That's why I was a little surprised, man.
I kind of thought Lomachenko, the first time he waved over saying stop the fight, was arrogant, BDA. I agree with you. The second time after the knockdown, I think he thought the guy really was hurt and was like, hey, throw the towel in because this is only going to get worse. They didn't, and instead, like everyone said, Gonzalez said it too, he took his foot off the gas. He didn't hit the body enough. Regardless, if he would have really wanted to finish that fight off, just peppering all he'd have to do is pepper the body, because when he does pepper the body, especially against Commey would have brought his hands down, and in which case that would have opened him right up to headshots. It was an excellent performance, but I just thought he should have, if you really wanted to put an exclamation point going, Haney, you went the distance with another featherweight, and, what's his name, Tank, you went the distance with a guy who was ranked but nobody knows, and I just knocked out a former world champion.
Exactly.
I mean, it'll be a shame if going forward he got another opportunity to gain the 135 belts. He said it himself. I have another chance. I'm not saying that the dudes he's gonna face are fucking the Gennady Golovkin power punchers, but who do we have? The lightweights, them dudes. Whatever you need to do, gain them belts and do not leave anything on the table. Don't leave scraps. They don't fucking care about you. Never mind them. Don't leave anything on the table.
No, I'm with you on that. As far as rankings go, he's already WBO number 1. He's already WBC number 1 and now this should have made him IBF number 1, because number 1 was, I believe, it was Kambosos, but Kambosos won the title, and then Cruz was number 2, but he just lost. So those two spots should become vacant. And with those two spots vacant, the IBF says if 2 guys in the top 10 fight each other, the winner is automatically number 1 contender. So Vasily Lomachenko should be in their next rankings number 1 contender for the WBC, WBO, and IBF.
Don't leave no scraps on the table for them fucking dogs, because in the end of the day, they want to kill you. They don't fucking like you, Loma. They don't like you. Okay, Commey, yeah, give them a pass. Don't leave no scraps on the table for them fucking dogs.
Against those guys, I don't think he will.
Yeah, I don't think he shouldn't, man. You guys are absolutely right. That taking it easy on a guy, you just never. He might come back and knock you out. So, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe Jimmy was right. Maybe he did feel like, not going after him was going to be beneficial to him, because maybe he did like Commey out there. But like all the fighters say, there's no friends inside the ring. You can be friends outside the ring, but inside, it's every man for himself. So,
and I think he thought he was hurt more than he really was. I think it was more he was tired too. But I don't think he was doing it I can see how it looks arrogant, but just in my opinion, I don't think it was arrogance. I truly believe he likes Commey and he didn't just want to put him in a real concussive state. But again, it wasn't the right thing to do. I'm not condoning it.
Exactly.
I just said I could see why he did it that's why he liked him. But I just want to say
Jimmy,
too, Gonzalo, to your right hand. Oh,
yes, sir.
No, I was going to say, remember when you said the right hand, like you were saying, they call the right hand the straight right hand?
What they call stunning. He was styling on them. He was kind of like,
what
we call.
Well, maybe I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the reason why they call it a straight right and not a straight left. Is that what you were asking too?
No, Loma is the lefty, and Commey is the righty. So the old adage is the right hand was good for the lefty. It's like
and it usually gets there quicker, because a right tends to, for whatever reason, the same thing with pitching. Okay, you guys have all played baseball. Ever notice a lefty just the release point is different and they automatically have a curve to their ball almost always? It's just they have a release.
I hated lefty pitching.
Lefties have a natural curveball. Right or wrong?
Exactly. No, it's 100% true, dude. I was an umpire. Absolutely true. They just want to know. It's because their release point is different. Even with boxing, when they throw punches, they tend to be more across their body. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's the reason why they call it a southpaw, because a lefty, their punches come from the south because they kind of drive it up.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
That's
so that's
right.
the reason the whole term southpaw came from the direction. Again, that's what I was told. I could be completely fucking wrong, but
no,
okay.
You're historically correct. You're absolutely
so not an old adage. It's true. It's not like just okay. If I'm a righty and you're a lefty, then I shift away from the legs where I need to. Where you won't catch me with that straight right hand. No, it's a southpaws bring something different to the table. It's absolutely true. I'm a southpaw. It's true.
Yeah,
Hey, your punches are harder to pick up for a righty. It's harder for a righty to pick up a fucking southpaw. I personally liked fighting them. I just always did good against southpaws, but most people dread it because you just don't pick the punches up the same way. And the punches you don't see are the punches that hurt you. Most fighters, most of the fighters here in the Philippines, they turn them into southpaws. In Mexico, I was watching the Eric Morales Barrera podcast. It's true. In Mexico, they kind of shy away from southpaws. Most fighters are righties. But over here, because I'm living in the Philippines, mind you. I'm a Mexican living in the Philippines. Most fighters, they become a southpaws because they like a southpaws. You watch a Filipino, a lot of times, them dudes are lefties. Why? Because they adopt that style here. But not in Mexico. They don't like that.
Like Donaire did.
Righties usually don't like fighting because you can't see how to set the jab up very easily because it's like I always say, playing patty cake. You're both slapping at each other's lead hand. So lefties usually don't develop a very good right hook traditionally. I don't know of many southpaws that had a right hook outside of Mark Johnson that used it as a weapon. It would be there occasionally. And a young Spence used a lot growing up, but that was against second-rate competition. At a world-class level, using the hooking off the jab and things like that, the traditional fighters do. Most southpaws don't have the opportunity to do. They are able to get their jab in because they're seeing righties all the time. Righties have a hard time seeing how to get that jab in, and it throws their rhythm off because a lot of people set things up off of a jab. So when you don't have the jab, now you have to work off all your other tools. Now, if you remember what George Foreman did to Michael Moore, is every time Michael Moore moved too much to Foreman's left, Foreman would use the hook to put him back in front of him, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. You win the foot battle, you get the hook, you use the hook and push them back in front of you, and then you launch off your back foot, which is be the right hook, straight left. And those two combinations usually put people right in line for the straight left hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's a
bunch. That's sorry, Beterbiev. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a bunch of techniques like that. That's insane. But some people are afraid of southpaws, but there's all sorts of techniques you can use against them. And it's interesting. I didn't know that the Philippines, they would actually turn people southpaw. Now it makes sense why there's so many southpaws that come out of the Philippines. But man, let me tell you, fellas.
Well, Donaire did it, right? Donaire is a natural left-hander, but he fights. He does it the opposite way. Yeah. So he fights southpaw, which is kind of
Well,
he fights orthodox, but his left is a stronger hand, so he turned to orthodox.
Miguel Cotto, Felix Trinidad. These are
Oscar De La Hoya.
Yep, Oscar De La Hoya was a lefty.
They love them.
My father had me box southpaw, and I love it. I hated it in the beginning though.
But you see the problem with southpaws when it comes to the sparring. With this, like I said, like with them guys like Morales and Barrera, and Mexico as a whole, they shy away from them because you have a problem when it comes to like sparring. When it comes to bringing fighters into the gym and doing the training, and when it comes to fighting, when you have because most of the time, because in the reality, in the real world, you're gonna have more righties. You're gonna have more righties all the time, right? So when you have a righty stepping against a lefty, that creates a lot of problems. That's the reason they shy away from him.
Not because why they do that. Can I tell you why they do the conversion? Can I tell you? Well, at least
Well, it's a good thing, though.
At the time. Okay, so your strong hand would be your lead hand. So imagine, right? So you always feel comfortable let's say, for instance, I throw a jab at you, and then I could turn it to a hook, right? And then my front foot, right, where I have it in the back, I'm kind of more. I'm kind of more like faster on the front foot because it's all this. That's all my strong side, or what I'm.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I recognize Timothy Bradley said something beautiful. It's true. What he's national boxing, of course. Timothy Bradley. Look what the Desert Storm guy said. When you're throwing the hand from the rear and you're getting the torque, even though it might not be your power hand because you're converted, the power is coming because you're turning the hand. So that means you're punching hard with both hands.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to say. That's the theory behind you fighting from the lead on your strong side, right? On your strong side. That was the theory, the way I understood it. I never liked it until I got it, basically.
Yeah, that's what Michael Moore did. Michael Moore was a converted southpaw to converted orthodox into a southpaw because his right jab and his right hook were actually more powerful.
Yes,
Michael Moore, get the fuck out of here, dude. He's a converted southpaw.
He was an orthodox fighter that turned southpaw. Yes, he turned into a southpaw.
And Gonzalo, another reason why you won't see. All right, know what you'll see. Okay, say an orthodox fighter is about to fight a southpaw, and I say he hasn't faced a southpaw in like 8 fights. He's never faced a southpaw. So even as a kid, I asked my grandfather, who was a trainer, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just spar more southpaws? And I found out the reason why trainers, especially if you start making money, they're not going to normally, just for the sake of it, if you want to get some gym work in, let's go against southpaw. It's due to clash of heads. It's so common in that you can open up a wound that can affect your career because you want to avoid scar tissue as a fighter, as everybody knows, as much as possible. You just double the risk of clashing of the heads. So that's the reason why you don't have guys usually. Some guys do it, but usually you will not have your guy face a southpaw in the gym unless you're fighting a southpaw. Right. You see what I'm saying? Because the risk of headbutts and scar tissue is that's what I was told as a young kid. I just want to put that out there.
Well, and then when you get to fighters like Pernell Whitaker that were the best pound for pound at a time, they're fighting between lightweight and welterweight, and there were no real southpaws to spar to prepare for him. He had plenty of right-handed fighters to prepare for, but everybody's stepping in the ring, getting ready for him. How many, by the time De La Hoya and them came around, a lot more guys were southpaw. But when Chavez and Greg Haugen, those guys were getting ready for Pernell, how many southpaws were there? And if you did get any southpaws to spar with, they weren't as good as him.
That's right. That's a relevant point there. That's true. Not before, but now I don't know if the dynamic has changed. But there's always going to be more righties in the world, right?
Yeah.
No, and you know what?
Not that many of you and me out there, Gonzalo.
Oh yeah, like us. But watch, even a power. What is it? What do they call it? Pillow fisted puncher. Mm-hmm. Dude, them dudes. You know why pillow fisted punchers are dangerous? They will still cut you. Yep. I'm not saying that Pernell was that guy. When you throw like a swiping lead left hook or whatnot, I don't mean if you're right under left or whatever, right or left hook, dude. If a fighter can't punch, like I'm not saying I don't want to lean, but I'm just gonna mention an example. A dude can catch you with the right punch. He will cut you. He will cut you. It doesn't matter if you don't respect his power. If he's a pillow fisted fighter and he hits you where with the temple, with the bones, with the meat is meeting like the bone. Man, mm-hmm. They will cut you. Any fighter is fucking dangerous, dude. Any fighter,
especially if he has practice, right, Gonzalo? He's a guy that's constantly hitting the heavy bag. He's sparring. He's sharp. He may not be top level, but he's still a dangerous guy. He could, top level guy going there sleeping on him. He could get beat up.
Yeah, I don't besmirch no. What is that guy? The 30-pounders, Shakur Stevenson, like Haney, Kambosos. I don't besmirch those guys, man. They're dangerous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they're all. It wouldn't be easy for any of them to unify, but the guy who stands to maybe have the best chance of doing so is Lomachenko. But again, it's a tall order, and we might not be able to see those fights because of the politics outside the ring. In any event, fellas, we got to go. It's been a long show here.
Well, BDA, thank you for letting me put my 2 cents in since I came late. I do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for dropping by. Same to you,
Gonzalo. Me too. Me too, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. And to Jimmy and Recognize as well, thank you for dropping by. Bucho as well, who was here joining us. You guys are the best. I always say that. And shout out to everybody that called in, everybody that donated the super chat. You guys know who you are. And everybody in the chat, Shaka Milk Rogers, Norma Louise, Mary Ross, Ace 144, One Foot Out the Door, Miguel Arroyo, Lion Bar, Parker Mustang, Hard Recoil, I Don't Want No Channel, Michael Poe, Andy C, Boogie, Casey Boxing, Funktopus, Kevin Fuentes. You guys know who you are. Thank you for calling in. Really appreciate it. I mean, thank you for listening, rather. We'll be back later on this week. I'll try to cook up a little something because we only
hit the like button on the way out the door, please.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Like button on the way out. Thank you. And yeah, we'll be back because this weekend, or rather this week, we've got... okay, on Friday, we got Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown. That's via ESPN Plus. On the Zone, during the daytime, I believe, or evening, Madrimov versus Michel Soro. Watch that fight. That's going to be a good one. And then on Saturday, you've got Parker versus Chisora, and then the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley rematch. So we still have a little something of combat sports this Saturday and Friday. And then afterwards, it's no Japanese fights because they were canceled. But we'll try to see. We'll make something here. We'll do a couple of shows, special shows. End of the year shows and that type of stuff. So guys, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.
Disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to